Okay, so that's me. Ah, okay. So I'm live now. All right. Yep, that's right. And then audio output capture. So if I play this lady, play. So now I have to go to properties.
Third
USB.
quarter, and that's helping its shares rally in the pre-market, even though it also warned on sales for the quarter. And Dell is out with some bullish comments.
So how's my audio
The
compared
PC
to that?
maker
I'm
says
probably
it's
still a little bit too loud. What if I put my microphone there? Is that better?
Computer industry. Dell has
If I
been
put
one
it
of
there,
the leaders
that's not
in
too
the
loud, is it?
ongoing computer
No, that should
price
be all right.
war, and in doing so, it has gained market share.
Okay, so I think
Finally,
we're good to
cigarette
go.
makers Philip Morris, British
So we'll
American
just play
Tobacco.
pause on this lady. Very nice. And then we will check in with the chat. Alright, so I think we're good, folks. I think we're alright. So hello to Vux Sucks, hello to Let's Go. You guys are the first ones here for this very special 9/11 live stream. And we've missed some JLB trivia to do with 9/11. Hope you're looking forward to that. And today we're going to take a look at this footage from 9/11, from CNN, from the morning of the event, but from before the buildings were hit. So this is the last recorded footage that we have of the world before everything changed forever. And if you go back and look at some of what they were saying before the towers were hit, especially the advertisements, the TV advertisements, if you didn't know better, you'd think somebody or something knew ahead of time. So it is September 11, 2024, where you are in America, if you're in America. If you are in Australia or in Asia or certain parts of Europe, it is already September 12. But it should be about just after 8 p.m. US Eastern Time. And so I'm John LeBon coming to you from beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria. So today we're talking about 9/11. I'll be reading out your comments. I'll be sharing with you some little factoids that you might not know about 9/11. Some of them you will know about, possibly because you already heard them from me. Some of them you'll know about because you heard them from other people. But there'll be stuff in here that you've never heard before. And I think you're going to enjoy the show. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. I've got a lot of stuff planned for you guys. Look at all these tabs on my browser. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off by playing this. So this is from, let's have a look, 8:14 in the morning. So the towers started getting hit around 8:40, okay? So this is from about 20 or 30 minutes before the first tower was hit. So this, up until that point, this is just a regular CNN morning program. And we're going to go through this section by section. And overall, this show should be about 90 minutes to 2 hours, I think, total. But we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. So leave your comments in the live stream chat. Let me just go and post to my Twitter that I'm live, actually. There we go. We'll let them know that we're live. That's the way. And then I'll go and post that on my Discord. Just give me a second here, folks. You know what? I might even jump in my voice channel. If anybody on the JLB Discord wants to come and join me, they can. Let me go and post this to my Media Street section. Where are we? Twitter. And then I publish that, or I post that. Yes, and now we're all good to go, I think. Okay, so the people in the live stream chat are saying that the audio is good. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Well, with that being the case, oh yeah, David Hayes is in the house. Hello, David. Zinvalis is there as well. Hello, Zinvalis. Yes, it'll take a while for some people to make their way here. So let's just start off. So this is, again, this is from CNN. This is a website called 911realtime.org. They've got CNN, they've got like 8 different channels that they've got recordings of from the morning, from before the events even took place, and then right through the day. But I want to focus on CNN today. That's going to be our focus. So let's pick it up from about 8:15 in the morning, US time. Again, this is about 20 or 30 minutes before the first plane hits the first tower, and we'll just go from there. So let's do exactly that.
And Japan Tobacco have reportedly agreed to pull their TV and radio ads worldwide. The Wall Street Journal says the companies are pledging support to global standards set by the United Nations. That is business news. CNN Live at Daybreak. We'll be right back.
Financial News Updates is brought to you by Key. Achieve anything.
There will come a time when your work will end and your life will begin again.
Now take a look at this ad, folks.
When you will be able to live life the way you want to.
Take a look at this.
At Key, we synchronize the right people and the right resources like financial planning, insurance, and brokerage services from McDonald Investments, all to help you achieve your retirement dreams. To schedule a free personal assessment, call a Key retirement specialist at 1-888-KEY-2020.
Now, were you guys paying attention there? To those of you who are listening to the audio, obviously you won't get as much info as the people watching the video stream, but it was an advertisement, and a lady has a paper plane, and she throws it out of her window from some skyscraper in the city. It flies through the city, and it lands at some guy at the beach. And then he opens up the paper plane, and written on it is, "I'm on my way." Okay, now let's just watch this again. Goodness gracious me. By the way, if you're just joining us late, John LeBon coming to you from beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria. So what we're doing is we're taking a look.
To global standards set by the United Nations.
This lady. We're taking a look at the CNN morning show beginning before the attacks had even started. So this is back when, so far as we know, nobody knew what was about to happen. So everything was normal. Everything was peaceful. People were listening to Britney Spears and Alanis Morissette, and they were wearing, I don't know, crop tops and colourful clothes, and most women's hair wasn't coloured at this point. There were no tattoos to be seen, not compared to what we have today. And people were optimistic about the future, and yes, it was a wonderful time to be alive before everything changed. So we're watching footage from before everything changed. Now, this is an advertisement that aired about 20 minutes, give or take, before the first plane hit the first tower. For those of you listening, I'll explain it again, but for those of you watching, just watch this very closely. Now, this is the best definition I can find, so I'm sorry about the definition of this. It's a 360p potato cam style, but just pay as much attention as you can to this. One more time. Again, this is from before the planes hit the towers. This is CNN, folks.
That is business news. CNN Live at Daybreak. We'll be right back.
Financial News Updates is brought to you by Key. Achieve anything.
There will come a time when your work will end and your life will begin again. When you will be able to live life the way you want to. At Key, we synchronize the right people and the right resources like financial planning, insurance, and brokerage services from McDonald Investments, all to help you achieve your retirement dreams. To schedule a free personal assessment, call a Key retirement specialist.
Folks, did you see that? So there was a plane, a paper plane, flying through the skyline of New York and then landing at a dude on the beach. He opens it and it says, "I'm on my way." Are you kidding me? And guys, that is just the tip of the iceberg. I went through this. I've been through this before actually, but I did it again today because today is September 11, and I was like, you know what? Let's do some reminiscing. Let's not go out tonight. Let's stay in and watch back on the footage and take in all it is, this 9/11 experience. I've been going back over my notes, some of the esoteric stuff to do with 9/11. I used to be very into all of that, and I still am to an extent, but I used to publish a lot of material about it. And so I spent a few hours putting this show together, and I hope you enjoy it. We've got some JLB trivia coming later on. That's right, we've got some JLB trivia. In fact, I should have some sound effects ready to go as well. I forgot to update my sound effects. Hopefully the good ones are all still on there. Let's have a look. There we go. Yes, what I meant to do is say, okay, everybody, there's going to be, later on in the show, there's going to be some 9/11 focused JLB trivia. Now, we did start a little bit late today, but we have got the crowd starting to come in, so leave your comments in the live stream chat. I will read your comments out as we go along. And, you know, the thing is, people who are into 9/11 so-called truth, people who are into alternative media, this kind of alternative media, the idea that the TV can lie about bombings and shootings and even plane terrorist attacks, there aren't many people who take any of this very seriously. And those of us who do, my truth Uncle Lab has a way to describe us.
We're a collection of misfits. The misfit elves, that's who we are.
That's what my truth Uncle Lab has to say about all of that. So let's get on with the show then, folks. I'll just read out a few more comments in case they've come through. Let's have a look. Zin Violet says, lol. Matt Hopper says, I was 31 when it happened, and it is to my eternal shame that it took me 5 friggin' years to realise it was a sham. Well, I don't know why you'd be ashamed of that. It took some of us longer than that. I didn't find that about the planes. You know what I mean? The planes, the planes or the lack thereof. I didn't find out about that until like 2013 or 14. So it took me over a decade, mate. It took me over a decade to find out that it was all bullcrap. So, no, there's no shame in that. Nathan Oakley says, hello to you, Nathan Oakley. We'll have to get you back on the show, Nathan, because this whole drama that I don't want to talk about on this show. This is a 9/11 show, so I don't want to talk about it. But you know what I'm talking about. This Antarctica trip is coming up. I would love to get you on the show to get your thoughts on this massive development in your particular niche. Les Go says, I was in Manhattan on 9/11, and I can tell you no one on the grounds believed that a single plane could take down a steel building 105 floors high and a full city block footprint. Tim Osman says, JLB is a no-planer lol, what a dope. It's good to see you too, Tim Osman. Mike S says, hey John, would you like me to come and chat with you on your Discord? Yes, but only if you're in a good mood. I don't want this antagonistic, contrarian, dude who was an emo as a high schooler but never grew out of it attitude that I have seen you display on other shows. So if you want to have a chat, you're welcome. But if you want to do the whole you're the center of attention thing, and I'm not interested in that. This is a show focused on 9/11, and we've got a lot to cover. Thank you very much. So Highliner Film says, sorry, 846. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Oh, he's asking when did the first plane hit. Well, don't get too far ahead of yourself there, friend, because I've got some JLB trivia coming up very shortly. That's right, some JLB trivia. Yeah, boy. We've got a lot of people in the live stream chat, and I can tell lots of you guys are happy to be here, and I'm happy to have you here at johnlebon.com, the John LeBon YouTube channel. It's great to have all of my loyal fans in the chat for a show that I didn't promote until 5 minutes ago.
There's love. I'm telling you, folks, there's love in the room. There's love in the room.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. There's love in the room. But what does Obama say about all of this?
There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories.
Are they really that crazy? We'll find out about that very shortly. There are some people, they believe that this was a ritual. This was a mega ritual designed not to get America into war or to steal Americans' rights or even to scare the masses necessarily. Those might have been, ancillary aims of the project, but there was something much bigger. Something alchemical was in the works that day. So I hope you guys are ready for a wild ride, because we've got a lot to cover today, but I best get back to it. So that's what we're going to do. Here's what we're doing. I'm going through the footage from CNN from before the planes hit the towers, and we'll go through the next 20 minutes of this footage, which has been recorded. Someone has recorded this and uploaded it, and that's what we're going to do. So let's get back to it. If you're just joining us late, this is John LeBon coming to you from beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria, and everything I do here is made possible by the fact that there are some people, not many, but there's some people out there who support independent content, and I really appreciate it. So if you're one of the people who makes this possible by supporting what I do, thank you. If you're one of the people who likes what I do but has never supported it, hopefully by the end of this show you can see that this is premium material you won't get anywhere else. Because here, you're not going to get someone trying to proselytize to you, to get you to come and join his thought bubble or his echo chamber, or come and agree with me, or we're going to change the world, or... No. I'm just some guy who is interested, almost at an autismo level, in some of the minutiae and the details of some of these events that seem to get the collective eyeballs on them year after year after year. And 9/11 is right at the top. So I'm not here to tell you exactly what happened, because I don't know. I'm not here to tell you who did it or why they did it. I've got my theories. I'm definitely not here to try and convince you that somehow, ooh, we're going to change the world, man. No. And the people who do that, they're all bullshit. And you know that deep down. We're just here to take a look at the information, share some opinions, and hopefully have a few laughs. So with that being said, let's get on with the show. Yeah, boy. This is CNN from the morning of the event. And remember, stay tuned. We've got some JLB trivia coming up very shortly.
At 1-888-KEY-2020.
Look in my eyes. Tell me what you see.
He has a power.
You know certain things, see certain things.
A power to see the past.
You couldn't know?
To predict the future.
Believe me, I know.
And to pass his gift to another.
All you gotta do is find the Queen of Hearts.
Tell me what you see.
This one here.
And Anthony Hopkins. Hearts in Atlantis. Rated PG-13. Sneak preview September 15th. Starts September 28th.
Driving is a big responsibility, one that deserves your full attention. But a distracted driver is a factor in 1 out of every 4 automobile collisions. Don't let food, friends, or a phone call endanger your life. Stay focused and stay alive. Learn to avoid driving's most dangerous distractions from this book. It's free from Shell. Count on Shell.
We were in the islands, exploring the only volcano in the world you can bike from top to bottom. It was a place we found on Travelocity. We experienced what it was like to spend a day in the clouds.
Great trips stay with you forever. On Travelocity, we'll show you a calendar of choices for the price you want. Because a great fare isn't great if it's not available when you are. Travelocity.
Yeah, that's right, folks. So in these advertisements, we've seen an ad that features a paper plane flying through New York and then landing at a beach, and it says, "I'm on my way." Then we saw an ad for a film about a guy who has the ability to see the future. And then we see an ad for Travelocity. In other words, a place where you book airfares. And this is all 20 minutes before the first plane hit the first tower.
Go virtually.
If you can believe that.
Oh, say, can I have the new software IT didn't approve? Fred, I promised someone remote access. What is remote access?
At CDW, we understand what it can be like in IT. That's why we have top name brands in stock, so you can...
So now we've got an ad for some telecom or some IT company. And one of the jokes is, oh, we need to get remote access. What's remote access? Now, you might recall that some people were claiming that the planes were flown via remote access by remote control. Of course, folks, all just a coincidence, of course. And these are all ads on CNN, folks, the morning of the event.
Like the entire family of HP network storage products, from single tape drives to automated libraries, with the reliability you expect from HP.
Fred, here is another request that can't be done in time.
HP and CDW, computing solutions built for business.
So if you're a Washington Wizards fan, or heck, if you're an NBA fan, you're probably having a heart attack this morning hearing that Michael Jordan is expected to return to the courts. We're going to go to Washington, D.C. to...
Yes, so the major story of the morning before the towers were hit was the announcement that Michael Jordan was going to return to the NBA via the Washington Wizards. Now, just think about what number was Michael Jordan when he played for the Bulls. That's not part of the JLB trivia. Well, you know what? I might even add that. There you go, folks. I'll give you a free question. Make that question number 0. What number was Mickey Johnson for the Bulls? But anyway, so he was going to the Washington Wizards because apparently he was a part owner or something like that. Now, just think about where the Pentagon is and think about the magic that was performed that day on the minds of the masses all over the world. Some might call it a form of wizardry. Well, the news of the morning of the event, before the towers were hit by the planes, was that Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan was going to return to the NBA at the age of 39 via the Washington Wizards. If you can believe that. Guys, we're just getting warmed up here. If you're joining us late, this is John LeBon coming to you from Plovdiv, Bulgaria. We're going through the news story. The news. Someone recorded the news from before the whole thing began, and they uploaded it. So we're going to go through that, and boy, oh boy, there's some strange stuff in there. And then once we get through some of that, we'll go through some JLB trivia. I'll read out your comments and your questions, and hopefully we'll keep the show under 2 hours. And it should be a lot of fun. And if you're new to my channel, I also have a website called johnlebon.com. That's johnlebon.com, where I've published over the past few years a lot of material to do with the esoteric elements of 9/11 and these other major events. So what we're talking about today, I'll try and get through as much as I can, but it's really only, what's the word for it? It's the tip of the iceberg compared to what I found and I publish over at johnlebon.com. So you might want to consider going and check that out. But don't worry about that for now. Stay here, right here on this John LeBon YouTube channel. Let's play some more of this CNN action. Yeah, boy.
WTTG reporter Audrey Barnes, who's been hearing it from the street. What are you hearing, Audrey?
Well, Carol, reporters from various media outlets stopped Michael Jordan outside his Chicago restaurant last night, and he all but confirmed that he did indeed plan to return to the basketball court wearing a Washington Wizards uniform. He says he'll make an official announcement sometime in the middle of next week. Now, for the last 5 months, Michael has been putting himself through a very physical test. He's been scrimmaging with the likes of Penny Hardaway, Juwan Howard. He says there's a little bit of tendonitis in his right knee, but other than that, he is ready to go. And Michael says if he does return to basketball, it is because of the love of the game, not his ego, and certainly not for money. Now, the NBA is holding league meetings in Orlando on September 20th, and Michael Jordan is expected to announce his intentions before that. If he should return to basketball, the Wizards say they are prepared for a flurry of last-minute ticket purchases. Also, plans are already in the works to televise as many Wizards games as possible. Reporting live from the MCI Center, Carol, back to you.
Yeah, you can bet on that, Audrey. Thanks so much. Audrey Barnes standing outside the MCI Center, where they're expecting Michael might be playing soon.
Michael could be taking the floor over there, no doubt about that. All right, from a basketball legend now to a real American hero. Millions of people visit the U.S. Capitol each year, some standing in line for hours waiting to get inside. And now a multi-million-dollar visitor center expansion project is underway to make the Capitol more visitor-friendly. Former Senator John Glenn.
All right, so you saw that story about Michael Jordan, again, the Washington Wizard, formerly a Bull, number 23. So someone in the live stream chat has said, can you change the chat from pop-up to something else? I don't know what you're talking about. You're not getting filtered out. Who said that? Who wrote that? John Lenz. John Lenz, welcome to the channel. I don't know what you're talking about. You're not being filtered out, and anybody watching the stream can see all of the comments that I can see. So I don't know what you're talking about. You're not being filtered out. Everyone can see your comments, including me, and everybody watching. You should be able to see your own comments, actually. I've organized it so the pop-up chat is on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side is this scene and footage that we're going through. And who else is in the live stream chat? Lots of people. That's the way, yeah. Lesgo says MJ was number 23 for the Bulls. That's correct. Mike Ez says, if you think there were real planes because you saw planes on TV, think about that for a moment. Dirty Benny. Oh, hello, Dirty Benny. He says the Washington Wizards, they are the ones who did the ritual. And YouTube is also in the room. He says it is on Crocodile. No offense, YouTube, that wouldn't surprise me. Given that it's been 10 years and you still believe that these people telling you about the thing, you still haven't worked out that these people are pushing nonsense. It's you've had a lot of time to work it out, and it's quite surprising to me that anybody who thinks they're intelligent could still be falling for the charlatans. Oh yeah, we're your friends, man. We're on YouTube, and we just want you to tell all your family that the Earth is a certain shape, and of course you'll get rejected by your family because it's ridiculous shit you're saying. And then you come to us, and now you depend on us, and you can have a parasitic, what do they call it? These socio-parasitic, or, you know, this is like people who are like sitting at home listening to their favorite YouTubers or Twitch streamers, and they think, oh no, but this person's my friend. Yeah, we're part of a movement. We're going to take down NASA. Give me a break. All right, so let's get back on with the show then. This is CNN, folks. So you just saw the story about the Washington Wizard, Michael Jordan. Now we're about to hear a show about a building expansion in where else but Washington. And by the way, I'm not jumping around, so I'm not going back and forwards. This is all just one continuous.
Good morning, glad to be with you. It's interesting to me how you came to be a part of this project. It goes back to your childhood when you were.
So what we're watching right now was broadcast originally at 8:20 New York time, so about 20 minutes before the plane. And everything you've watched or listened to so far, again, I'm not jumping up and back and forwards. I'm not scrolling an hour forward and out. No, this is all just in one continuous section. I'm just every now and then intermittently interrupting to say something. But the footage itself it's just second after second, minute after minute of what was broadcast on CNN on the day of the event. Goodness gracious me.
A visitor to our nation's capital. Can you tell us about that?
Well, it does. You know, when I was about 8 years old, I remember our first visit to Washington. I can remember to this day, that's been many years ago now, and I remember to this day, though, walking into that Capitol and looking up at the rotunda and then visiting each of the two chambers, the House and the Senate, and what an impression it made on me as a young kid. And I think it affected somewhat my whole attitude toward government. I won't say that led me into the paths of where I went later on, but it certainly gave me an awareness and an appreciation for the Capitol and for our country. And I think the 4 million visitors that come here to the Capitol each year deserve much better than to stand out in the rain and the cold and line up across the East Plaza out there. And this rendering that we see here, the artist's conception, is what this will eventually look like. You'll have a visitor center in here. They can enter under here. There will be movies and artifacts and things like that that will be available. It'll be three things really: educational, number one for the kids coming in there, and inspirational. And I don't underrate that. I think that's a very important part of this whole thing. And number three, it provides far better security, so we don't have some of these incidents like we had where some of the policemen got killed here a few years ago.
Right, and there certainly are safety issues involved, and I know that there's not only long lines and long waiting and heat for many elderly people, but can you talk about the safety issues as well?
Well, the safety issues are a very important one because this will give a more controlled flow than just having people milling around out here on the East Plaza that we have here right now. There'll be entryways in here that you can go into the Capitol, into the House or the Senate chamber over here. And also another factor, you know, we're a focal point of the whole world. The Capitol building is a symbol of our democracy. We have many foreign visitors come here from all over the world, and most of them want to visit the Capitol. This is a far more impressive and far better way, I think, of taking care of all the visitors, foreign and our own people here as well.
Senator Glenn, how much money is needed for this project, and where will this money come from?
Well, Congress appropriated $100 million. The whole thing is estimated to cost about $265 million. There have been about 35 pledged from corporations so far. We hope to raise $100 million from the rest of that $100 million from private sources, and that's what this drive is all about. We hope everybody can participate in this. It's everybody should. You know, there's a precedent for this also. I might have preferred myself to see a Congress just appropriate the money and do it. But we have a history, for instance, just a few years ago when they wanted to refurbish the statue on top of the Capitol. That was all done with private funds. So there is some precedent for this.
Senator Glenn, do you feel that Washington, D.C. is the tourist attraction or maybe the tourist mecca that it should be?
Well, no. Well, I think it is.
Did you hear what he just said? Is Washington the tourist mecca that it should be? The mecca. Now remember, folks, this is within 20 minutes of the first plane hitting the first tower. They're talking about Washington in this story, and the question from the CNN dude was, is this place the tourist mecca that it should be? Just bear that in mind as we go through this presentation today. And if you're just joining us late, folks, this is a 9/11 special review. I'm not planning to talk about too many other topics today, just 9/11, the exoteric with an X, the esoteric with an S, some little factoids and some little things that you might know about the event, you might not. We'll do some JLB trivia, and it should be a lot of fun looking back on the 23rd anniversary of the day that did change. At least in some ways, it seems to have changed the world forever. I would say that it did. I still remember when I was a kid. I was in year... What was I in? Year 7? 2001? No, I was in year 8. Yes. Yeah, is that right? Hold on a second. Yeah, I was year 8. Yeah. So the second year of high school in Australia. And it's in Australia, you do 6 years of high school, not 4 like America does. We don't have middle school. So you just go to high school when you're about 12. And yeah, I was in year 8, and I remember the day. It was pretty full on, man. It was hectic. Of course, we're hours ahead of you guys. So for us, it was, you know, you guys were finding out about it at school or at work, whatever, because it happened in your morning if you're American. If you're Australian, we kind of found out about it in our evening. You know what I'm trying to say. And then hold on. Yeah, well, they're a day ahead, Australia. So let me, people were asleep in Australia when it happened, and then so by Wednesday morning people heard about it. Then they went to school or they went to work. Yes, that's what happened. Anyway, so the point is, what was I saying? Oh yeah, man, I still remember it. It was on the news every day for days and days. It was full on, man. We thought we were under attack. Anyway, let's carry on with the show. That's right. This is CNN. This is 20 minutes before the event.
Tourist attraction in this country. Everyone,
talking about Washington
family, you know, we have polls that show that I think it's like 3/4 of the people want to take their family to Washington, want their kids to experience coming to this this capital city, this leadership city for the whole world, literally. And so we're, in a way, we're just responding to what the people of this country already want. I'd like to see more visitors to Washington also, not just from a money standpoint of tourists and business, but for the appreciation of what we have here, the Capitol, Arlington, the monuments, Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial, things like that I think are very, very impressive and give people a feel of their part, their participation in this country when they have a chance to come here and visit.
Well, sir, before we go, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about your 1998 space mission. And can you tell us what was learned from that mission in terms of aging experiments at that time and since?
Yeah, some of the some of the things are still being looked at from that. What I was up there to see was, when the younger people go up there, they have certain things happen to their bodies. Osteoporosis sets in. The body's immune system changes, become less resistant to disease and infection. Protein replacement in the muscles changes. Now, those are the same things that happen to the elderly to a large extent right here on Earth. So the idea was to compare my reactions to going into space again with the younger people, with the objective of seeing if we can't find out what turns these systems on and off in the human body. And we're making strides in that area too, and the idea being not only to permit longer-term space flight, but also to take away some of the frailties of old age right here on Earth. That's exciting to think that maybe we opened the door for some things like that. And so the experiments are going on. I'm hoping they'll put more people up there in my age bracket so we have a database in a few years. It means a lot more than just a database of one, which is me right now.
Well, back to the project now, and anyone can get involved. The website, www.capitalvisitorcenter.org. Senator John Glenn, a pleasure. Great talking with you. Best of luck with the project, sir.
Good to see you. Good to talk to you. Thank you.
Good to talk to you. Thank you.
God, he's in great shape, isn't he?
I'll tell you.
All right, so you just heard another segment, this time also about Washington specifically. They want to expand one of the major buildings in Washington. They want to make it a tourist mecca. This is the story following straight on from the news that, Michael Jordan's coming back, and he's going to play for the Washington Wizards. And again, folks, this is all in the moments leading up to the breaking of the news that the first plane hit the first tower. So that's why we're doing this. And once we get through this, once we get to the time when the planes actually hit the towers, I've got some JLB trivia, folks. We're going to test your knowledge. See, you spent years, right? You have spent years listening to people like me and people like Ab the Fakeologist and people like Matt from Quantum of Conscience and people like Tim Osmond from the Infinite Plane Society and people like Owen Benjamin and all these people. You've listened to all of these people for hours, hundreds of hours, maybe thousands of hours. But what have you actually learned? Well, we're going to find out, folks. You see, a lot of us, and this includes me, we justify the amount of time that we spend watching these live streams or listening to these podcasts as, I'm doing research, I'm learning. And it's like, okay, am I really learning? So sometimes I like to test myself, and sometimes I like to test you. So I hope you're ready for that, folks. JLB Trivia is coming up in the not too distant future, but first we have to go through this. So we're now to 8:24 in the morning New York time. So we started about 8:20. We've gotten through 4 minutes. Ooh, this could be a long show, folks. This could be a long show. So we've gone through about 4 minutes. The plan is to get through all of this until the first plane hits, and then we'll analyze some of what was broadcast in the moments just after the news had broken. Then we'll get to the JLB Trivia, and of course I'll be reading out your live stream comments. There's been some weird comments so far, folks, though. There's been some very weird comments. I have no intention of debating Nathan Oakley from Nathan Oakley Debates channel. He was on the John LeBon. He was on the Bonversation 6 months ago. It was a terrific Bonversation. I recommend you go and check it out. It's available for free at bonversations.com. And then to the other people who are like, I kind of like JLB, but I disagree with him about the shape of the Earth. It's like, okay, that's fine. We can agree to disagree on that topic. I don't believe in flat Earth, and I've spent years debunking flat Earth, and I'm sick of it. But if you believe in flat Earth and it makes you happy, that's fine by me. It doesn't have to be a religion. And anybody who's telling you, no, if they're not with us, they're against us, they're paid shield. I don't even think you realize you've been brought into an online cult. That's what's happened. If you were like, I agree with this guy on all these other topics, but there's one topic we disagree on, the shape of the Earth. JLB says that flat Earth is a complete shambolic nonsense. Well, then, now I'm suspicious of JLB. It's like, really? Because of one topic? So you agree with me about everything else. But just because I haven't bought into your silly flat Earth belief system, we're going to take... Are you one of those people who said you're going to take down NASA? There were people saying that back in 2015, and I was one saying, hold on, who? Who? You a bunch of YouTubers are going to take down NASA, are you? Because you're saying the Earth is flat. Oh yeah, JLB, we're going to take on NASA. And I was like, what the... And so anyway... if you're someone who believes in flat Earth and it really upsets you that I don't, why are you still here? There's at least 100 flat Earth channels out there, or at least there used to be. I don't know how many there is now, but why would you come and listen to me? I wasn't even talking about flat Earth until you guys all turned up. You know, and this happens every time. I'm having a lovely show. Me and the live stream show, we're having a great show. Everyone's having a good time, and then the fucking flat Earthers turn up and want to ruin the place. Really, you guys are very destructive people. And you're doing it for free, most of you. At least Nathan's making money doing this. The rest of you who do this for free, you're going around acting as these flat earth acolytes, causing problems everywhere you go. Really, it's a sad state. And you're doing it for free? Oh, it's a sad state of affairs, Jerry. That's the last I'm going to say on that topic. And to those of you who are not here for that topic, I apologize. But you should see my live stream chat when these people turn up. And they just can't help themselves. And I can't help myself responding to them, but I'm going to try my best. I've said my piece. I've said my piece. So let's get back on with this CNN from the day of the event. Let's go back to it.
Legend.
Looking good.
Looking good.
All right, we're going to take another look at another cool science story. Picture this, a massive hurricane and towns are forced to evacuate.
The problem is there's too much traffic for the roads to handle. Gridlock on the escape route.
And who, maybe it's what, is walking down the runway this spring? We're going to give you a look at the latest fashions when we return.
From case court to gavel, join Greta Van Susteren and Roger Cossack for Burden of Proof. Today, 12:30 Eastern on CNN.
Hi, I'm Christy, professional fitness trainer. Like most of my clients and people I know, time for the gym may not always fit into your busy schedule. So when it comes to working trouble areas like your abdominals, we could all use a little extra help. That's why I recommend the MaxTone Exerciser. In just 10 to 15 minutes a day, you can achieve rock-hard chiseled abs. So when you don't feel like fighting traffic and crowds at the gym, sit back, relax, and let the MaxTone Exerciser go to work for you. Say goodbye to sit-ups forever that cause unnecessary strain to the back and neck, and say hello to abs that are absolutely electrifying. And if you call within the next 10 minutes, you'll receive up to $100 off. The MaxTone Exerciser can be used for a variety of health and fitness-related needs. You control the intensity of your workout, from a complete full-body workout to even massaging and bringing comfort to tightened, intense muscles.
Order the MaxTone Exerciser now. Call 888-297-1835. That's toll free, 888-297-1835.
Talk Back Live. Today, 3 Eastern on CNN.
Michael Jordan on the rebound.
And chaos on the hurricane evacuation route.
Welcome back. I'm Carol Lynn.
And I'm Vince Cellini, and much ahead in this next half hour, we're going to talk about hurricanes. It's the big hurricane season starting up, and running away from that storm may not be the best idea, especially when thousands of folks are running away at the same time. That could be a huge problem. We'll have that.
Yeah, we've seen that before. Also, we are back in New York's Bryant Park on the runway. It's Fashion Week there, and the business of fashion is coming up.
But the Michael Jordan story, we continue to follow this. Michael's comeback. His iron will is not an issue, but some wonder whether Michael Jordan, at 38 years old, can get in shape for the rigors of the National Basketball Association and a comeback with the Washington Wizards.
Now, the betting is that he can do this, and he, of course, will. Details from John Giannone of CNN Sports Illustrated in Chicago.
For most of his 1,109 regular season and playoff games, Michael Jordan defied the laws of physics and physicality, a once-in-a-lifetime specimen who turned the NBA into a night at the Improv. So it is with some irony that Jordan now courts questions and criticisms about his physical prowess.
The injuries that we worry about are muscular tendinous injuries, tearing your Achilles tendon, injuring your rotator cuff, depending on the sport, of course, pulling a hamstring, tearing your gastroc muscle tendon, rupturing your quadriceps or patella tendon.
Well, it's a battle for anybody. It's a battle for you, for anybody else to stay in shape, let alone NBA shape.
As you get older, you lose something. You do get smarter. But I'd rather be really good and dumb than really old and wise.
The debate rages as to which category.
That was Charles Barkley, and he was obviously being asked about this idea of what happens if Michael Jordan comes back at the age of 39. And he says, you do get wiser as you get older, but you lose something. I'd rather be dumb and good rather than old and wise, or words to those effect. And yeah, you can see how he made a career for himself, Charles Barkley, post playing days. He's deceptively insightful at times, isn't he? Let's carry on. So, folks, if you're just joining us late, this is a 9/11 review show. We're looking at footage from CNN. So someone recorded CNN the morning of, but before the planes hit the towers. So this is the news before the world changed. And we're about 15 minutes away from when they get to when the planes hit and they announce the news. So we're going back through that because there's a few things in there that seem... Well, they seem to me that if you didn't know better, you'd think somebody or something knew ahead of time that this was going to happen. It seems very sinky. So we're going to talk about that. Once we get through that, we'll talk about some JLB trivia. And of course, I'm reading out your live stream comments as we go through the show. So long as your comments have something to do with 9/11 or something interesting, not to do with the freaking SOE. You know what I'm talking about. Let's get back on with this then. Yeah, boy.
Jordan belongs. By the time the season begins in November, his 39th birthday will beckon in 3 months. His tenure away from the game will have eclipsed 1,200 days, a relative lifetime of inactivity.
You got to understand the training and the mentality of Michael Jordan. Michael would never be coming back to this game if he wouldn't feel that he could be effective at the highest level that he is right now.
If you really want to be in good shape, you have to sacrifice your body on the court and also off the court. You can't do the things that the guys are doing on Friday nights and Saturday nights, and you really have to sacrifice the time to put it in on the court.
In addition to redefining his sport, Jordan also revolutionized conditioning off the court. Long before personal trainers were all the rage, Jordan had one. He also brought upper body strength into the NBA consciousness. And while he might have weaned himself off the weights in recent years, Jordan never strayed too far from the court or his considerable talent.
It won't be that big of an adjustment for him because skill-wise, he knows how to play, knows how to move, knows how to get open. And those things are like riding a bike. You never forget how to do those things.
He's probably one of the only athletes in the world that could quit a sport, particularly at this age in his career, in his life, and come back successfully. I'll bet on him.
Most are betting on Jordan because of his trademark steely will. Those who know him say his determination is no different than his open court magic. It's something Jordan will never really lose.
Once an athlete, you're always an athlete. And whether you're, 60 years old or 39 or 25, you still got that mentality and you still want to be able to play.
The thing that always separated Michael was his will and his determination. And so, as I said, if he wants to get in shape, he'll get in NBA game shape.
One thing that Michael's always had more than anyone else I've ever seen is the mental discipline for a pain threshold. He can play with a lot more pain than anyone else can.
The question now is whether Jordan can still inflict the kind of pain that made him otherworldly. In Chicago, I'm John Giano.
What helps him, though, he still has the Jordan mystique and the psychological advantage, I think, over younger players.
Oh, really? So you think that he still can have that intimidation factor on the court?
Definitely. Absolutely.
All right, we'll see. Kira Phillips, though, covering the news today. Hi, Kira.
Hi, Carol. At 5'4" and 5'1" you are, he'd intimidate us, don't you think? You wouldn't intimidate Vince, though.
No problem.
There you go.
You would.
All right, guys, let's look at the stories that are happening right now.
All right, so you just heard that. So they spent another segment on Michael Jordan, the Washington. That was how long was that? 4 minutes, 5 minutes? Another segment on Michael Jordan, his comeback after 3 or 4 years away for the Washington Wizards. And in case I haven't made it clear enough, there's a reason why I find the Wizard thing so significant. I actually wrote a series on the Wizards of New York and the similarities between what happens in the Wizards of Oz, or the Wizard of Oz, I should say, and this event that we call 9/11. Now, you might be thinking, what the hell is the similarity between the Wizard of Oz and 9/11? Is what you might be thinking. Well, I will link to this in the show notes below. In fact, I'll link to it in the live stream chat. This is available publicly, the first part of this series. There's a reason, and it has to do with L. Frank Baum, the guy who wrote The Wizard of Oz, Theosophy, and certain esoteric schools of thought. And I discovered some things some years ago that shook me to the depths of my miserable soul. And you can find out more about that if you follow the link in the comment section below or in the live stream comments. I'm going to post this right now. Yeah, boy. The Wizards of New York, that's right. Yeah, you see, folks, there's a lot of people who sit around talking about a lot of stuff, and they'll tell you this and they'll tell you that, and they'll repeat these different things they've heard from different people, but in terms of doing actual research, saying, right, here's this book that I read, here's this key part that I think is relevant to this, here it is. Here's this other book that I read. I think it's also relevant. Let me quote you the passage. Here's all my references and footnotes, and here's my overall thesis of what's going on. Not many people do that, folks. It takes too much work, too much time, too much effort. I get it. Well, guess what? I do that. That's what I do. And it's all available at johnlebon.com. Go and check it out. Yeah, boy. So you've just heard this. They tell us that Michael Jordan is coming back as a wizard. A Washington wizard. Think about, where's the Pentagon? Then they tell us, oh, this dude's here to tell us they're going to expand some buildings in Washington to make it the Mecca. Okay, great. Then they do another segment on Michael Jordan. And this is all, we're now about, what, 10 minutes away from when they get to the actual plane hitting the towers? What are we up to now? Let's go back to this. We're now up to 8:30. So we're about 12 minutes away from the plane hitting the tower. 12 or 15 minutes away from the plane hitting the, what is it, 8:46? Yeah, we're 15 minutes away from the plane hitting the tower. And let's carry on with the show.
Off the court, researchers say those stem cell lines approved for federal funding won't last forever. President Bush has approved federal funding now for 64 stem cell lines, but a National Academy of Sciences panel says new lines will be needed as the old lines age or are corrupted by experiments. Sport utility vehicles dominate the highways, but are they safe? The Insurance Institute is releasing new data from a round of high-speed crash tests on midsize SUVs. We'll bring you live coverage of the findings about an hour and a half from now. Secretary of State Colin Powell is making his first visit to Latin America since taking office. He's meeting with officials in Colombia today, showing support for the embattled government, and it's been struggling with drugs and a civil war, as you know. More on that now from CNN State Department correspondent Andrea Kopp.
Almost 1 year after the United States agreed to spend $1.3 billion to help Colombia fight its drug war, both governments claim the effort is paying off. The U.S. says 120,000 acres of coca plantations have been sprayed, and 34,000 farmers have agreed to replace their coca plants with legal crops. Still, much of the U.S. military equipment has yet to arrive. To date, only 3 of 16 Black Hawk helicopters, which Colombian troops need to fight drug traffickers, are in use. So the Colombian government says the real work of Plan Colombia, designed to rid the country of drugs and end the civil war, has only begun.
This is a long-term issue that requires an integrated approach, that requires the support of the world community and the work of the Colombian people, as well as the work of people in this country to solve it. Is for the good of all of us.
Complicating matters, the drug traffickers, leftist guerrillas like the FARC and ELN, who use profits from the drug trade to fuel the civil war, have refused to come to the peace table. And while Colombia's president, Andres Pastrana, has tried for 3 years to negotiate peace, his term ends next summer.
Despite the fact that Pastrana is not going to be able to get his peace process by the time he leaves office. You know, it's like the Middle East. You don't look for an easy solution, but you also look for a process to continue.
Secretary of State Powell's trip to Colombia this week is meant to underscore U.S. support for Colombia's drug war and its president. But privately, Powell's aides worry about what will come of Plan Colombia and the hundreds of millions the U.S. has invested in it once Pastrana leaves office. Said one Powell aide, "We want to make sure our assistance pays off." Andrea Koppel, CNN, at the State Department.
Well, it's primary election day in some cities and states. In New York City, 4 Democrats.
Yeah, so we'll get to the elections in a moment. So just rewinding a little bit, that story just sent was a couple of minutes to do with a Colombia, corrupt government, drug problem, America helping them with the drug problem. They showed some footage of what looked like massive multi-kilo bricks of the white stuff just being thrown on the floor. I don't even know if that stuff is, like, what they're showing us, is that real? Would they really, 10, 12, 15 grown men really just dump a whole bunch of that stuff on the ground like that? And why would they even do that? What are they going to achieve from doing that? Wouldn't you need to, like, burn it or bury it or do something? Just tip it on the ground. What would be to stop someone from coming back once the camera stopped rolling and saying, all right, time to pick this stuff up? You know what I'm trying to say. So let me read a few of the live stream comments before we get back to this news story. Hold on, I got someone message me on fakeologist.com. What's going on over here? Oh, they're live, are they? They've got a live show. They've got a live show going. Yeah, good on you, boys. I might come and join you later. Maybe. But first, I need to get through this, what I've got planned here. Yeah. Am I even talking right now? Yeah, I'm talking. All right, good. So where was I? Oh, yes, the live stream comments. So what are they saying in the live stream chat? Nathan Oakley says that was a massive amount of COKE. Wowza. David Hazel says, what a waste of coke. By the way, the name David Hazel rings a bell. I think you sent a tip on the last live stream. The last show we live stream. Your name rings a bell. So if that was you, thank you. People, they watch my shows. It's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of entertainment. They're like, I want to buy JLB a frothy. And they send me through $5, $10. Some people send through a lot more than that, actually. Whatever amount it is, it's really appreciated. So thanks to all of you who support what I do here at johnlebon.com. I put a lot of time and effort into this, folks. I really do. And there are some people who make it possible because they're like, you know what? That guy's doing important work. I'm going to support it. There are other people, of course, and no, all of their money is for fast food, drugs, alcohol, Netflix, Hollywood propaganda. And I'm cool with that. Like, you've got to spend your money how you want to spend your money. But me personally, there's a whole bunch of content creators who I support. The people who serve me beers or deliver me food, I give them tips. I give tips to people who do good stuff for me. That's how I am. But you've got to do you. So if you like what I do and you've never tipped me, now's the time to think about doing that. If you're one of the people who've already tipped me, thank you very much. You make all this possible here at johnlebon.com. Yeah, boy. So let's get on with this then. There is supposedly, on the day of this 9/11 attack, there was elections in New York. Did you know about this? Let's take a look at this. This is from CNN. We're up to 8:33 in the morning. So just a few minutes until the first plane hits the first tower. Take a look at this.
The two Republicans want Rudy Giuliani's job as mayor. Giuliani has served his 2 terms, the limit in New York. In Massachusetts, the late Congressman Joe Moakley's House seat is the prize. 7 Democrats and 2 Republicans are fighting for those nominations. And in Cincinnati, 2 men who once shared a local TV news anchor desk, current Mayor Charlie Luken and Curtis Fuller, are the frontrunners in the city's first nonpartisan primary for mayor. This reverses the career switch of Jerry Springer, who was the first Cincinnati mayor and then became a TV star. Hey, we got options, Vince.
I don't know. If Springer, with all the bones in the closet there, I think we could run.
Oh, we could talk about bones in the closet, couldn't we?
Not right now.
All right.
Thank you,
See
Kara.
you later.
All right. This week is traditionally the peak of hurricane season. We're doing a series of reports we call the Eye of the Storm. Today, evacuation gridlock. We'll start with CNN's John Zarella, who's in the Florida Keys live this morning.
Okay, so you heard the story they told you. Oh, there's elections in New York. That's right, the very city where there's going to be this terrorist attack. Now they're going to talk about the eye of the storm for a hurricane. And this series that they're doing is about, I think it's about hurricanes and tropical, natural disasters in general. But it just so happens that at the time of this 9/11 event, there was a hurricane that was just off the coast on the east of America. So let's take a look at this. This is, again, folks, this is CNN, morning of the 9/11 attacks. And they're about to tell us about their special series, Eye of the Storm. Ooh, booga, booga, booga.
John is with us. Good morning, John.
Morning, Vince. Let me tell you, emergency managers and hurricane forecasters will always tell you you can run from the water and you can hide from the wind. That means you've got to get out of the way for storm surge, but you can usually hide from the wind. But let me show you the Florida Keys here. This is Isla Mirada. That's the only way out of the Florida Keys. That one road, it's a 2-lane road. So here in the Florida Keys, you've got to run from the water and run from the wind, both. You really don't have a whole lot of options. But no matter where you live, if you are ordered to evacuate, it may be far more difficult than you think.
As Hurricane Floyd moved north along the Atlantic coast, cars didn't move at all. 2 years ago, Floyd triggered the largest evacuation in U.S. history. From Florida to the Carolinas, millions left their homes, only to sit in gridlock.
It's taken us 4.5 hours to go 8 miles.
Many weren't asked or ordered to leave, but were afraid to stay. They added to the bumper-to-bumper mess. Floyd weakened before striking land, but next time might be different.
I really fear that someday we're going to have people stuck in their cars in a gridlock as the core of a major hurricane moves on shore. If they're stuck in their car and that storm surge comes in, they'll be lost alive from drowning.
Hundreds, perhaps thousands, Mayfield fears.
Storm surge is a wall of water, sometimes 50, even 100 miles long and perhaps 20 feet high. It sweeps inland as the eye of a hurricane makes landfall.
And since the average error in forecasting hurricane landfall is 100 miles, no one knows where the worst storm surge will hit.
Again, in 24 hours, I can't tell if it's going to hit here or down here somewhere.
That's why emergency managers over-evacuate.
I've got to worry about the southwest quadrant.
August 22nd, 2000. Hurricane Debbie is close enough to the Florida Keys that emergency manager Billy Wagner is worried. He's come to the National Hurricane Center in Miami for the latest information.
The thing is, I need to respond to a major hurricane. I can't.
Within minutes, Wagner learns evacuation is not possible. The only 2 roads out of the Keys are blocked.
I had a jackknife truck on Card Sound and a tanker truck that they got to drill holes in to offload the fuel on US 1.
The next day, the road's cleared. Wagner orders a Phase 1 evacuation, tourists and non-residents. Then Hurricane Debbie unexpectedly falls apart.
As Carla moves slowly in from the Gulf.
A generation ago, evacuation worked pretty well.
Back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, if we gave people 12 hours of warning, that was sufficient.
Not anymore. There are simply too many people, too many cars, often more than the roads can handle. Many cities now plan to make highways one way out. But experts say that's not a solution.
What I'm saying is every new community that goes up, whenever you give the permitting process for this development, they ought to be required to have a shelter right on site.
So for now, evacuation gridlock remains the nightmare scenario. So much so, one Florida county is looking for a spot along Interstate 75. A parking lot of last resort, where people stuck in their cars can pull into and hopefully survive the big one. If you're ordered to evacuate, the one piece of advice, evacuate early. Do not wait until the last minute and risk getting stuck in gridlock. This is John Zarella reporting live from Isla Mirada in the Florida Keys.
All right, so you heard that story. Now, we're just a few minutes away from the first plane hitting the first tower. You heard that story. They're talking about, if there's a hurricane, especially down in Florida, blah, blah, blah. So that was down in the Florida Keys. The Florida Keys. And you might recall earlier we saw that advertisement for some kind of financial or investment group where the lady threw the paper plane out of her building window and it flew through New York and then landed on a beach. The dude opens a piece of paper and it says, "I'm on my way." Do you remember that? That was for a investment company called Key, believe it or not. Now, you might say, JLB, so what, man? Okay, fine. I don't bring this to you to say that it proves anything yet. But just keep these things in mind as we go through this presentation today, which I spent quite a few hours putting together. And I have to say a big thanks. We've received our first tip of this 9/11 special. Mike sent through a $33 Australian tip. Thank you, Mike. That is much appreciated. If just a few people sent through these tips each time I did these shows, I could do these shows a lot more often. I could do 2 of these shows a week. And I have to say, I think my shows are the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, if I do say so. Yes, because I actually put effort into this. I come with notes. I come with everything planned. Like, this is not... I'm not just sitting here spouting shit. No offense to the content creators who do that, mind you. I'm just saying, I think my stuff is a little bit more advanced, and you're going to get some more stuff that's maybe you've never heard before or seen before. And it's interesting, I think. In the live stream chat, people are having fun. So far, this has been a good show. We've been on the air for about an hour now. And I'm going to keep going for another hour. And maybe some more tips will make their way to the JLB support page. Maybe we'll go for a third hour. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to carry on here because we've just listened to this Florida Keys story. We're now up to 8:38. So on the morning of 9/11, this was a CNN broadcast. So far, according to the official story, the planes are in the air, but nobody seems to know, and they haven't hit the towers yet. That hasn't made it to the news yet. That's going to be a few minutes from now. So let's continue with this. For those of you who are listening rather than watching, this is from 911realtime.org. And they don't just have CNN, they've got like 8 different channels. And they've also got audio transmissions from radio operators and stuff. It's a phenomenal website, I have to say. And I only learnt about this relatively recently. I don't know how long this website's been around, but in the past I would use footage from 9/11 Archive or archive.org, their 9/11 special section. But this is way better. This is awesome. So we're a few minutes away, folks, from when the plane hits the towers. And once we get to that, we'll do some analysis. And then we'll go through some JLB trivia. That's right. So stick around for that. But just bear with me. We've just heard about the Florida Keys. You know, I've heard the Florida Keys are lovely this time of year. That's a little... I tell you what, in the live stream chat, does anyone get that reference I just made? I just made a reference. I've heard the Florida Keys are lovely this time of year. To what am I referring? Whoever gets it right gets a bonus point ahead of time for the JLB trivia. Okay, let's try this again. So we just heard a news story from CNN about hurricanes and particularly to do with Florida Keys. And I just made a reference to a film. I hear the Keys are lovely this time of year. What the hell am I talking about? Let me know in the live stream chat, and we'll do the official JLB trivia in just a moment. But first, let's get on with this CNN from the morning of. So the people sitting around at home watching this 23 years ago had no idea what was about to transpire. So try and put yourself in their shoes. These are just regular people. Most of them are probably normies, probably non-player characters, let's be fair. But they're still humans, and they're still going about their day, getting their breakfast ready, or maybe they're already on the way to work, or who knows what they're doing. And this is the kind of stuff you're hearing before the world changes, folks. Let's carry on with this. This is from 8:38.
All right, thank you very much, John Zarella. Wow. Great pictures there to illustrate the power of the storm. We remind you, tune in Sunday for a special hurricane report when the big one hits. Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on CNN Presents.
All right, but surely Dave Hennon's looking out on the horizon, seeing if there's any hurricane action out there. What's it looking like, Dave?
There is indeed hurricane action today. Fortunately, though, this big hurricane, Aaron, is going to move away from the U.S. Winds at one point yesterday up to 120 miles per hour. You see the eye of Hurricane Aaron, and look how close it is to the coast. The thing that's going to happen, though, is this frontal system moving off the east coast is going to pick up the hurricane and begin to move it a little bit farther off towards the east. In fact, it is now moving north. It was moving northwest yesterday, so that turn has already begun. Winds still pretty strong, though, 90 miles per hour sustained. It is forecast to continue, though, as we said, though, to push away from land. In fact, not expected to affect the Canadian Maritimes either, moving into the North Atlantic. That's what we're expecting with that storm. We are watching another storm, too. This is Tropical Depression number 7, which is located way out in the Atlantic. Same story here. This storm is forecast to go north through the island. So either storm, not a forecast threat to land. We are watching the Gulf of Mexico, though. We've been talking about all that heavy rain in Florida. That system we'll have to keep a close eye on. Vincent Carroll?
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, David.
Hey, Fashion Week in New York. Big deal. We get to see a preview of all those fashions out there, but you don't have to be skinny as a rail to appreciate this next segment with CNN's Gail O'Neill.
Hey, Gail.
That's right, Joey. Coming up, we'll take you behind the scenes at the Liz Latin Maternity Wear Show. Take a look. It's coming up right after the break.
Well, it's nice to see you all. It really, really is. Isn't it, honey?
Oh, yes. We must.
Okay, so you get the idea. It's morning news. They're doing segments, then they go to advertisements. So we looked at this segment to do with the hurricanes. Then they went to the forecast. Oh, there's a couple of hurricanes, including depression number 7. Did you guys hear that, by the way? I don't know how much attention you guys are paying to this. In fact, I said to myself not to do this too much because it's going to take up too much time. But let's just go back a little bit. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Okay, we'll go back to this section. So let's go back to 8:39 in the morning. Again, for those of you watching, you can see the time on the bottom. I haven't edited this. This is no trickery for me. So what I just did was rewind a minute. But I'm telling you when I'm rewinding. But other than that, I'm not playing any trickery. This is just how it was broadcast on the day. Literally minutes before the plane supposedly hit the towers. I want you to listen to what this guy's about to tell you again. Now, I mentioned the Florida Keys, and I said, what am I referring to when I say, I hear the Florida Keys are lovely this time of year? And I said, who in the live stream chat will get the answer? Well, my friends, we've got a solution. We've got some correct answers. Let me see if I've got any soundboard clips that'll do the job here that I'm looking for. Let's see. Boogeyman.
You heard me right. I'm a man of my fucking word. You heard me the fuck right, John LeBon.
Okay, that's probably not quite the clip we're looking for, if I'm being honest. But thank you, Boogeyman. Sorry for the coarse language there, folks. I try not to swear on it. I try my best. But some of my caller-inners, like Boogeyman from last week, they cannot help themselves. But I have to say, in the live stream chat, we've got some lovely comments, some very positive comments. And of course, we did get that lovely tip from Mike S. It's fair to say that so far the show, the live stream chat for the most part, has been rather friendly, rather lovely, a lot of fun. What say you, Donald Trump?
There's love. I'm telling you, folks, there's love in the room. There's love in the room.
Oh, there's love in the room, absolutely. What do you think, Jan Erik?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, well, what do you think, Ab? Some say there's some love in the room here at johnlebon.com. What say you?
What's wrong with that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm very happy about it, actually. So keep the good comments coming and keep the good responses coming. It turns out, as good as Hilly is, and Hilly is quite the sync master, he was just a fraction behind Waterman Chris, who was the first person to get the right answer. My reference to I Hear the Florida Keys Are Lovely This Time of Year is a reference to 12 Monkeys, because in 12 Monkeys, the key scene in 12 Monkeys features the Florida Keys on TV, and you've got Brad Pitt saying, Mun key, the key to get out. But is that film meant to be taken allegorical? How the hell do you get out of the insane asylum? Can you escape the insane asylum when you spend your time around a bunch of people? Some of them are very smart and very nice people, but the majority are drooling redacts who to this day still believe that there's no midnight sun in Antarctica. Are these people holding me back? Are they holding you back? If we're here for personal growth and to learn and develop as people and mature, are we worse off hanging out with people who they're not here to learn or to improve or to admit when they were wrong? They're here to push fantasies and to promote religions under the guise of taking down NASA. Are these people holding us back? Are they holding me back? Am I voluntarily remaining in the insane asylum with these people who really, God love them, God bless them, there's no hope for them? Is that what's happening? I'm not so sure. Anyway, we need to carry on with the show. So well done, Waterman Chris. Well done, Waterman Chris. Have I got a soundboard for you? I think I do. Very well done. Well done to Hilly as well. You were just a fraction behind Waterman Chris. And then also, who else got it right? Tomanoid got the right answer. And somebody else did as well. But nobody remembers who comes second or third. It's always the main man. So well done to you, Waterman Chris. Very nice. All right, so let's carry on with this show then, folks. This is CNN. We're now up to... So listen, guys, listen to this again. What he's about to tell you. This is minutes before the news breaks, the first plane is at the first tower. Listen to what this man's about to tell you on CNN.
Begin to move it a little bit farther off towards the east. In fact, it is now moving north. It was moving northwest yesterday, so that turn has already begun. Winds still pretty strong, though, 90 miles per hour sustained. It is forecast to continue, though, as we said, though, to push away from land. In fact, not expected to affect the Canadian Maritimes either, moving into the North Atlantic. That's what we're expecting with that storm. We are watching another storm, too. This is Tropical Depression number 7, which is located way out in the Atlantic. Same story here. This storm is forecast to go north through the island. So either storm, not a forecast threat to land. We are watching the Gulf of Mexico, though. We've been talking about all that heavy rain in Florida. That system we'll have to keep a close eye on. Vincent Carroll?
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, David.
Hey, Fashion Week in New York. Big deal. We get to see a preview of all those fashions out there, but you don't have to be skinny as a rail to appreciate this next segment.
You don't have to be skinny as a rail to appreciate the fashion they're about to show us. So you heard what he said, Depression number 7. Now, when you think of the world, when you think of 9/11 and the number 7 comes to you, what do you think of? Probably you're either thinking of Flight 77 or you're thinking of World Trade Center building number 7. Now, what happened to building number 7, folks? What happened? You could say it was depressed. You could say that if you wanted to be a bit liberal with your use of language. It was certainly destroyed, one way or another. One way or another. I might even sing, folks. I'm in a good mood. In fact, we've got through another 2 tips. One from Nathan Oakley. Thank you very much for the tip. He sent through $9.11. Thank you very much. And one from... by the way, guys, if you want to remain anonymous, you have to tell me. Otherwise, I'm just going to say who it is who sent the tip. And let's just say one John L. sent a $5 tip, which is just enough for a frothy or two, which I'm tempted to go and buy 1 or 2 more frothies. Why not? Let's stay up all night. Let's do a big show here at johnlebon.com. So 3 tips so far. Thank you, folks. Much appreciated. And all the lovely comments in the live stream chat. I'm really enjoying the show so far. It's gone better than I hoped, but I had this nagging feeling that it would take me 2 hours to get through 20 minutes of CNN footage. Let me know in the live stream chat. Can you see what I'm trying to do here? I'm just trying to show you what was on the news leading up to the planes hitting the towers. Okay, without commenting on the truth or otherwise of those planes hitting those towers and who was behind it. We can get to that later. I just find it interesting what was being broadcast on CNN in the 20 or so minutes leading up to the first plane hitting. Can you see what I'm trying to do here, folks? Let me know in the live stream chat. Even though it's been a bit stop-start, can you at least see what I'm trying to do? Let me know. And let's go back to this. We're just a few minutes away, folks. Remember, put yourself in the shoes of a regular person. Maybe even yourself. Maybe you can remember back then. Hopefully you can. This is before the world changed forever. This is back before the news came through that the World Trade Center's towers had been hit by planes. And certainly before there was any talk of Osama or my Talibans or my terrorist attacks or my, invasion of Afghanistan and shit. Before all of that. This is just early days when it's like, hold on. But I was happy. I was listening to Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys, and I was listening to, who else was there? The ironic girl. What was her name? An old man turned 98. He won the lottery and died the next day. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. There's a black fly in your Chardonnay. There's a death row pardon 2 minutes too late. Alanis Morissette, that's the one. Thank you very much. Yes, yes. Yeah, so I'm just happy listening to these pop stars and watching, football and just living my life, man. And then next, and life is easy, man. And we're optimistic about the future. Technology's progressing rapidly, and people are getting these cell phones in their pockets. And there's this thing called the internet, which at that time is still a bit of a novelty. It's not in people's pockets yet. Everybody's happy. And then all of a sudden, the world changes. Forever. Forever. Forever, ever. Forever, ever. Forever never seems that long until you're wrong about decisions that you make. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so imagine you're a regular person and you're watching this. It's 8:39 in the morning in New York, and in a few minutes your life is about to change forever, and they're about to go to an ad break. Pay attention to the ad break, folks. See what you notice.
CNN's Gail O'Neill.
Hey, Gail.
That's right, Joey. Coming up, we'll take you behind the scenes at the Liz Latin Maternity Wear Show. Take a look. It's coming up right after the break.
Well, it's nice to see you all. It really, really is. Isn't it, honey?
Oh, yes. We must do this more often.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Thanks for coming.
Where will you find the money to pay for long-term care? Conseco long-term care insurance protects you so you don't lose your nest egg. Conseco, step up.
Yippee! Yes!
We are in the sweet spot now, baby.
Give me five. There is no stopping us now.
This
the sky
market
is the limit.
Incredible.
NASDAQ. They expect the NASDAQ to surge above 6,000.
Rather than feel nostalgic for days gone by, a Merrill Lynch financial advisor can help reallocate your portfolio to better navigate today's up and down market.
Isn't even close to running out.
So while we can't bring back the past, we can make the future something to look forward to.
We can expect in the coming months is Director of Product Development, Paul Noons.
Got it. Nortel Networks is building the new high-performance internet, the wireless internet, with optical technology that makes it faster.
Overall, this has been an exciting
and more
year.
reliable.
But the next few months will mark the beginning of a new Gesundheit.
Come together.
In fact, with technology changing
over me.
I remember 20 years ago how they turned the racing world upside down. First by introducing a race car with quattro all-wheel drive, and second by having a woman driving.
Leather, lace, and everything in between. It is all moving down the catwalk at Fashion Week in New York. And CNN's Gail O'Neill has been braving the crowds to see what some of us, at least, are going to be wearing, maybe the most pregnant of us. Morning, Gail.
Morning, Carol. I'll tell you, this is the biggest media crush I've seen so far, and it's all over maternity wear. I'm backstage at the Liz Lang Maternity Show, and it's rock and roll back here. We have media from all over the world. There's been huge buzz surrounding the show. Personally, I'm most excited about this show. Here we have the designer, Liz Lang herself, and several of her models who you can see are actually with child, very pregnant. Liz, tell me, why is it so important for women to shop for this very small window of their lives?
Because you know what? It's not such a small window. It's 9 months, and then it's a few months when you're trying to get your body back. And it's, you know, you're talking about almost a year. Why would a woman want to take a year off of looking fashionable, feeling pretty, feeling great, feeling sexy? She needs to celebrate this time.
Tell me what women's pet, well, actually, I'm going to ask a pregnant woman, what has your pet peeve been when shopping for maternity wear?
I think finding something that fits well. You know, when you're not pregnant, you're always looking for something that fits the body, and then when you're pregnant, all of a sudden, everything's huge everywhere, and you really only need huge in a few areas, and that's why Liz Lang has done such a great job to make it hip and chic, and, you know.
Hey, imagine if one of those transvestigator charlatans were here. Imagine what they would say about these girls. They would say that all of these girls are men. If one of those, you know those charlatans who go around programming people to believe that everyone's a transgender? You know those people? Some of whom, like I'm guessing some of you actually watch those people and believe them and trust them because you are very simple people. Imagine if they were here. They would say that this woman's a man. They would. They would say, oh, look at that, that's a man, baby. Look at that Adam's apple, that's a man. Listen to her voice, she's a man, baby. That's what they would do. And guess what? Some of you have spent so many hours letting these people program your brains, you actually believe that. You actually believe it. You have... When I got into all of this, I really didn't understand that there are people who want to be fooled. They want to be taken on these merry dances into La La Land and to believe the most absurd shit with no evidence. And they'll voluntarily sit down in front of a computer or in front of a tablet and let people program them. That's a man, baby, that's a man. That's all it is, just programming. It's just neuro-linguistic programming. And some of you watching or listening to me right now, you've actually let them do that to you. You've let them program you, and now you see men. Where there's women, you see men. Where there's men, you see women. And you can't undo it, and I can't undo it for you. I can sit here and mock you. I can sit here and criticize you. I can even sit here and try and empathize with you and try and say, listen, man, I feel sorry for you, but it makes no difference. Once you let someone program your brain with this neuro-linguistic programming about all men and women and vice versa, it's very unlikely that you're going to come back. Same as all the people who fell for the FE shit back in the day. Most of them never came back to reality. They're gone. The human brain is it's a very bizarre thing, the human brain and the human mind. And once people let their minds get controlled by someone else, usually that's it for them. In most cases, though, it's not like they've gone from a baseline of sanity into La La Land. It's usually they were already sort of struggling to begin with. But yeah, just watching this, I think to myself, oh yeah, here are these pregnant women, and they want to do some fashion. And then I think to myself, oh yeah, but she does have a slightly masculine sounding voice. And then I'm like, oh, that's right. Many people in my audience, they've fallen for the transgender psyop. And they actually believe all these women are men. And it's like, why am I talking to these people? These people are nuts. If you've fallen for the Mr. E stuff, I want you to do me a personal favor and unsubscribe from my channel. If you've fallen for the Mr. E, all men are women, all women are men thing, please do me a personal favor. This means more to me than a tip. If I could choose between $50 and you unsubscribing, if you've fallen for the Mr. E stuff, I would choose you to go. I'd keep your money and just get the hell out of here, please. Guys, do me a personal favor, please. I've put a lot of time and effort into this show, and I think I'm providing a good show for you. I care about the audience. I want to make a good show for the people. And the main thing I ask in return is, if you're one of those poor fools who've fallen for this transgender nonsense, and you believe that men are all women and vice versa, please do me a personal favor and unsubscribe from this channel, because I don't want your insanity infecting me in any way. And I mean this quite sincerely. Thank you very much. Let's carry on with the show then, shall we? Yeah, boy.
Your life continues. You know, this whole year you still have to work, you have to work out. You know, I'm a professional tennis player, and Liz Lang created a line for Nike, and it's so fantastic because I can keep doing my aerobics, my yoga, and tennis.
And looking good while you're doing it. Now tell me, how do women feel when they're wearing maternity clothes that are tent-like with the Peter Pan collars, and how does that fly?
It doesn't actually. Liz Lang's clothing fly because they complement the body, your skin, and there's never ending when you can look younger. You can be 30 and look younger, you can be 40, it doesn't matter. And here we are.
And you don't mind hiding, or you don't want to hide anything, do you?
No, I love showing it off. I think it's beautiful. I feel really grateful and lucky that, you know, I don't have to go through what my mother went through, or she kind of had to hide out at home in a tent. I can just walk around and show it off. And people, especially New Yorkers, they really like it. I get so many comments and smiles on the street, and it's really nice.
I have a feeling they're smiling back in Atlanta. Liz, ladies, thank you very much. I'm so excited about this show. Back to you, Carol.
Hey, Gail, can you take some of these clothes after you're pregnant and tailor them down so you can wear them on, you know, just any old day?
Absolutely. Carol wants to know if you can wear these clothes only when you're pregnant, or can we wear it after? I would wear that dress tomorrow.
Absolutely, you can wear these clothes afterwards. Case in point, I had a baby 11 months ago. I'm in my own Liz Lang knit top. I expect these girls to wear these clothes afterwards. They stretch with you when you're pregnant, and they stretch right back when you're not. They should be great.
And Carol, they are colorful, they're contemporary, there's nothing Wilma Flintstone about them.
None
I loved
at all.
Lucy, but we don't want to look like that anymore when we're pregnant.
All right, hey, this is New York City you're talking about. Do people actually walk down the streets like that woman in the black and white top?
Do women actually walk down the street like you in New York City?
Well, I have. My husband tells me to put more clothes on, but I do it, when I feel comfortable, not, in crowded places. But I think it's great.
You know what? She actually said to me earlier that she's a little bit shy, and I said, you're shy and you're going on TV in front of millions of people and walking down this runway? She's not shy about walking down a runway, but very shy about doing this in New York City. Go figure.
Yeah, I
She's
can tell how
brave.
shy she is. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Gail. Gail O'Neill
Thank
from
you.
Fashion Week in New York. We'll be right back.
All right, so is my audio back? Yes, it is. Okay, so what did you notice in that one there, folks? What did you notice in what we just listened to? Did you notice that one of the girls said that you can fly? They're talking about feeling good wearing these designer clothes, I'd imagine, but she said I can fly. And then something about at the end towards about being shy. Oh, you're in New York and you're going to be in front of millions of people. And you're a bit shy. And some might say that literally a few minutes after this, there will be people in New York in front of millions of people who might be a little bit shy because they're about to go on camera and say that they witnessed. I was walking with my roommate. I was watching with my roommate. It was approximately a few minutes after the first plane had hit. I saw this plane come out of nowhere and ream into the side of the Twin Tower, exploding through the other side. Anyway, so this is what we're about to go to is the last ad break before the news breaks that the planes have hit the towers. So this is history, folks. We're about to watch history. Yeah, boy. I'll give you a little hint, by the way. Keep an eye on the Dow Jones. So on the bottom of the screen, they've got the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500. Where they were at for the day, I suppose. Like the day's movement in those charts. Those stock charts or what have you. Those indexes or whatever you want to call them. Now, keep your eye on the Dow. Keep your eye on the Dow. You don't have to pay it full attention, but just occasionally take a glance and watch what happens over the next 10 or 15 minutes. Very interesting stuff. Let me go and check out the live stream chat, by the way. We've got Gigi Abbey Lynn is in the house. Gigi Abbey Lynn has been a big supporter of mine for quite a few years. However, recently, my Uncle Dave J cast a spell on her and turned her against me. He convinced her that I am Tristan and that I've been sent to cause problems for the Truth movement. And you see, my crazy Truth Uncle Dave J, he gets off on this. He gets off on dividing and conquering and turning people against each other. He gets off on it. He makes a whole bunch of outlandish accusations against people. And sometimes they're correct, but most of the time they're completely wrong, as in this case. And so he re-uploaded one of his anti-JLB videos from 2015. He re-uploaded it a few months ago. So 9 years later, he's re-uploading his anti-JLB nonsense. And I wouldn't have thought it would work on Gigi Abbey Lynn. But then again, yeah, I'm not that surprised. So she's in my live stream chat, and she's posting. Basically, she's become a JLB, a Crazy Dave J acolyte, which is a shame. But Gigi, I don't take this stuff personally. So if you eventually snap out of the spell that Dave J put on you, then all is well. I don't take this stuff personally. Now, here's the problem, folks. A lot of the people in the live stream chat are now saying that they believe that those women that were just on that show about the fashion, the pregnancy fashion, they're saying that they believe that those women are men. That's what I'm talking about, folks. This has taken hold. This transvestigation thing has really taken hold. And in some ways, man, it's even more pernicious. It's even more problematic than FE, in my personal opinion. And it's sad to see, and it's actually embarrassing for me. Like, suppose my audience is a few hundred people. Suppose I publish something, and it gets seen or heard by 300, 400, 500 people. Let's just say. The idea to me that half of those people, maybe more, are mentally ill, that doesn't sit well with me at all. And an easy way to tell if someone's mentally ill is, do they spend 10, 15, 20 minutes watching videos of a man saying, see this woman, that's a man. See this man, that's a woman. If that's part of their regular behavior, yeah, that person's mentally ill. Yep. Including some of you guys who are watching this right now. It's really a shame. I have more, like when it comes to how I feel about what I've done with the last 10 years of my life, I've got more concerns with the idea that a lot of my own audience are genuinely mentally ill, and they'll never get better, most of them. They'll never get better. And it doesn't make them bad people, and probably they can still lead a decent, happy life and whatever. It's not the end of the world, but it's just, I'd rather talk to a brick wall. I'd rather talk to, I'm not even joking. I would rather my stuff be heard by brick walls than by people who are truly mentally ill and who think that Justin Bieber is a woman and Taylor Swift is a man and Conor McGregor's a woman and Donald Trump is a woman. Like all this stuff, that's genuine mental illness. And I don't really want anything to do with those people. I just want them to go and live their life and be happy. And so the idea that of my audience, there's a sizable chunk who actually believe this horseshit, I do have a bit of a problem with that. And I haven't got over it yet. I need to work on that. It's my problem, not your problem. I need to work on that. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm really not comfortable with that. I need to work on that. But what I can say is, at least it's not my fault. I never pushed the transvestigation crap. The FE stuff, you can say that I was part of it because I interviewed all those flat earthers back in 2015. You can say I'm partly responsible. Okay, fine. I will take that. I've been saying that for years. I put my hand up and say, yeah, I did give some of those charlatans a platform, and I've got to wear that. Okay. But this transvestigation stuff, no, I never, ever pushed any of this crap. I never fell for this shit. And it all came to a head maybe 18 months ago when there was someone on my website trying to say that Conor McGregor's a woman. And it's like, what's your evidence for this? His evidence is red triangles that he superimposes on people's faces. And I was like, this is not a good situation. So anyway, let's carry on with this CNN. We're just a few minutes away, folks. We're just a few minutes away from when the planes hit the towers. Let's take a look at this, and we'll be back on the other side to discuss 9/11. And by the way, guys, stick around for the JLB trivia. We've got some JLB trivia coming with questions you've never heard before. And I have to say, one of the most popular segments on the JLB live streams is the JLB trivia, which we're about to do in just a moment. Yes, that's absolutely right. So let's get on with this CNN action, though. This is from the morning of the event. What we're about to watch is from 8:45 a.m. They're about to go to an ad break. And this is the last ad break before they cut back for the news. Let's take a look at this.
CNN Live at Daybreak is brought to you by the Munder Funds, featuring a full range of focused mutual funds.
Who would have thought you could turn the waste in our landfills into electric power?
Who would have thought computers would soon be hogging half the U.S. power supply?
Energy demand is at an all-time high. So we created the Munder Power Plus Fund, investing in conventional energy sources, plus companies that pioneer better ways to produce power. To learn more, check the web or call the Munder Power Plus Fund, focused on powering the future.
Among the highest number of graduates in computer science and engineering in the country. Over 4,700 graduates in computer and information sciences. Over 5,000 graduates in engineering, including chemical and bioengineering. And they all graduated from the same place. Just who produces this kind of talent for the workforce each and every year?
Pennsylvania.
When it comes to lending and leasing to businesses and consumers, CIT stands apart. Because when you combine nearly a century of experience with dedication, desire, and imagination, you've got what it takes to make even the impossible look easy. And from that perspective, it's little wonder that today's business leaders put their trust in today's financing leader, CIT.
With posted pop-up notes and the handy dispenser, you always know where your notes are.
So you won't go nuts looking for nuts. And posted pop-up dispensers also come in these cool colors.
I'm Amanda Lang at the New York Stock Exchange, where we could be in for a solid open to the trading day. Stock index futures point to some buying for the broader market and for techs. One sector that could provide a boost, wireless stocks. Nokia is saying it expects to meet earnings targets for the current quarter, but the world's largest mobile phone maker is warning that third quarter sales will be about 5% below the year-ago level. That's because of slumping sales in its network equipment division. Nokia, which closed yesterday just $1.05 above its lowest level in a year, is surging 10% in free market trading. Motorola, one of its top competitors, is adding 5%. But one stock that could come under pressure is Boeing. Prudential has cut its 12-month price target on the Dow component to $42 from $60. Boeing closed Monday at about $43.50. That's the latest from Wall Street. CNN Live at daybreak. We'll be right back.
Financial News Update is brought to you by Georgia Pacific. We make the things that make you...
All right, so I was wrong. The last one was not the last break. They came back for that quick, stock market update. And now this is the last. Go back to that.
You feel at home.
Would you like to lower your monthly mortgage payments or use the equity in your home to consolidate your credit card or other debts? Just log on.
Yeah. This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center. The CNN Center right now is just beginning to work on this story, obviously calling our sources and trying to figure out exactly what happened, but clearly something relatively devastating happening this morning there on the south end of the island of Manhattan. That is, once again, a picture of one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
When you can see these pictures, it's obviously something devastating has happened. And again, unconfirmed report that a plane has crashed into one of the towers there. We are efforting more information on this subject as it becomes available to you.
Right now, we've got Sean Murtaugh. He is a CNN producer on the telephone right now. Sean, what can you tell us about what you know?
This is Sean Murtaugh. I just was standing on the Vice President of Finance.
Sean,
Vice President of Finance for CNN.
Sean, we're on the air right now. What can you tell us about this situation?
Hello?
Yes, Sean, you're on the air right now. Go ahead. What can you tell us?
I just witnessed a plane that appeared to be cruising slightly lower than normal altitude over New York City, and it appears to have crashed into, I don't know which tower it is, but it hit directly in the middle of one of the World Trade Center towers.
Sean, what kind of plane? Was it a small plane, a jet?
It was a jet. Looked like a two-engine jet, maybe a 737.
You're talking about a large passenger commercial jet.
A large passenger commercial jet.
And where were you when you saw this?
I am on the 21st floor of 5 Penn Plaza.
Did it appear that the plane was having any difficulty flying?
Yes, it did. It was teetering back and forth, wingtip to wingtip, and it looks like it has crashed into probably 20 stories from the top of the World Trade Center, maybe the 80th to 85th floor. There's smoke billowing out of the World Trade Center.
Sean, what happened next? Does it appear to you that the plane is still inside the World Trade Center?
From my angle, I'm viewing south towards the Statue of Liberty and towards the World Trade Center. It looks like it is embedded in the building. I can't see from my vantage point whether it has come out the other side.
Sean, what about on the ground? Or any debris that is hit down there? Can you see
my vantage point is too far from the World Trade Center to make any determination of that.
Did you see any smoke, any flames coming out of the engines of that plane?
No, I did not. The plane just was coming in low, and the wingtips tilted back and forth, and then it flattened out. It looks like it's hit at a slight angle into the World Trade Center. I can see flames now coming out the side of the building, and smoke continues to billow.
Well, generally, is that a traffic area in New York for aircraft?
It is not a normal flight pattern. I'm a frequent traveler between Atlanta and New York for business, and it is not a normal flight pattern to come directly over Manhattan. Usually they come up either over the Hudson River heading north and pass alongside the island of Manhattan, or if they're taking off from LaGuardia, they usually take off over Shea Stadium and gain altitude around the island of Manhattan. It's rare that you have a jet crossing directly over the island of Manhattan.
Just for our viewers who are just tuning in right now, you're looking at a live picture of the World Trade Center tower where, according to eyewitness Sean Murtaugh, he is a vice president of finance, an eyewitness to...
All right, so we'll just pause it there. So you heard that transition from the advertisement into suddenly back to the live coverage. Hey, we've got these unconfirmed reports that a plane has flown into the building. Now they're talking to this first guy. In the live stream chat, Hilly says that this first guy sounds very shilly. What makes you say that, Hilly? This first phone dude, what makes you think he sounds shilly? By the way, I don't know if you guys caught that, but the story is that this guy works for CNN. He was a vice president of finance for CNN or something like that. And of course, as we know, there's the Harley guy who was a freelancer for Fox. You witnessed, I was watching my roommate, it was approximately a few minutes after the first plane had hit. I saw this plane come out of nowhere and ream into the side of the Twin Tower, exploding through the other side. He was a Fox News employee. So CNN's first caller in era, or the first guy they get on the line to say, oh, I saw it, he's apparently one of their employees. Same with Fox, with the Harley guy, he's one of their employees. See, you know, that's... You can kind of make a case for it. Like, they'll have direct lines of communication with their own employees. Okay, you can make a case for it. At the same time, if you wanted to tell a story, you would need the mainstream media to be complicit, but not all of the mainstream media, just a couple of key players from each organization, and you could weave your magic, some might say. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch a couple more minutes of this, and then we're going to go to the JLB trivia. And just you wait, folks, there's some questions on here that you... Well, there's some you have heard before, but there's some you certainly haven't. So stay tuned for that. But first, let's just carry on. And thank you to all the people who sent in the lovely live stream comments. Much appreciated. We've got a good vibe in here. In fact, we've got such a nice vibe that you might even say that there is some love in the room. Hold on. Where's my soundboard? There it is. What do you reckon, Dave? What do you reckon, Donald Trump? I reckon there's some love in the room.
There's love. I'm telling you, folks, there's love in the room. There's love in the room.
You know, there are some people who do love JLB.
John LeBon, I would be on your server. I would be everything. I love your show.
Oh, thank you, Linda. You know what, guys, it's a love fest in here.
I love it. We're all in love. Every place I go, it's a love fest.
It's an absolute love fest. What say you, Jan Eric?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, so guys, stick around. There'll be some JLB trivia in just a moment. Yes, but first let's play a couple more minutes of this. So this is 8:53 in the morning. The plane has supposedly just hit the tower. There's only one tower that's currently on fire. The other one hasn't been hit yet. And as far as people watching live and around the world at this particular time knew, there wasn't going to be a second plane. They're still in shock. What the hell? How could you have a... This is bizarre, they're thinking. But let's carry on with the CNN live coverage. 23 years later, yeah, boy, John LeBon coming here from beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria.
What he describes as a twin-engine plane or possibly a 737 passenger jet flying into the World Trade Center. It appears to be still embedded inside the building. Sean, are you in a position right now to hear whether any sirens are going, any ambulances, any sort of response to this yet?
Not from my vantage point. I'm probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles from the World Trade Center.
It is a remarkable scene, as we're seeing right now. Flames still coming out of the windows, black smoke billowing from what appears to be all sides. Obviously, windows shattered and steel jutting out from the structure right now.
And Sean, once again, we're looking at these pictures, and
I
you're
see them
telling
in my
us,
office. I have them on all my TVs.
And you're telling us you believe the plane is still remains embedded.
I can't tell from my vantage point.
All right. Sean, thank you so much for your eyewitness account there. Right now, we want to go to our affiliate NYW, reporting on this as we speak.
There's a little girl in his arms. Did you see what happened, sir?
Did you see what happened? What happened?
Well, I was in the PATH train, and there was a huge explosion sound. Everyone came out. A large section of the building is blown out, around like the 80th floor.
Was it hit by something, or was it something inside?
It was inside. Because it looked out. Everything was coming out.
Everything.
All the windows were coming out. All the papers were
What
coming
is on
out.
the sidewalk?
I didn't see anything.
Was there any people hurt, do you know?
I just ran, and everyone in the PATH train just ran. I don't know if anyone was hurt, but I assume they were because the windows were all blown out.
All right, thank you.
Ollie, you would have to assume a very, very terrible situation if that indeed is the case, because I'm sure there were people up there in that. There were people up there in that World Trade Center. Now, we have lost, again, our transmitter is on top of the World Trade Center, so we apparently have consequently lost contact with Dick Oliver. But we are on the phone with an eyewitness. Rosa, can you hear me? Is Rosa there?
Hello?
Rosa?
Yes.
This is Jim Ryan here in the studio.
Hi.
What is your last name, please?
Cardona Rivera.
All right, again, you're looking at pictures now. We understand from a CNN Vice President, Sean Murtaugh, who was an eyewitness to this. We believe a commercial jet has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center, and you can see the smoke billowing out. There are flames billowing out there, and a commercial jet crashing into one of these towers. At this point, we do not have official injury updates to bring you. We are only now beginning to put together the pieces of this horrible incident.
Right. Just a few seconds ago, we were tuning in to one of our affiliates in New York, WNYW. Right now, we want to go to an eyewitness on the telephone right now. Jean, what can you tell us about what you saw?
I can tell you that I was watching TV, and there was this sonic boom, and the TV went out, and I thought maybe that the Concorde was back in service, because I've heard about those sonic booms. And I got up to my window. I live in Battery Park City, right next to the Twin Towers. And I looked up, and the side of the World Trade Center exploded right when I looked up. And at that point, debris started falling. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Can you hear anything from your position right now? Ambulances, sirens?
Absolutely, positively. There are crowds of people downstairs in Battery Park City. Everybody's come out from the buildings. This is the financial area in Manhattan, and there's a lot of fire engines. I can see them from my window.
Jean, can you tell us, I don't know if you can tell which tower it is that's on fire right now, or the kinds of services that are inside that tower?
I can't tell what's inside. It's the northern tower versus the southern tower, and it seems to be on all sides of the building, from what I can tell. The west side, the south side, and it looks like smoke.
All right, so this is a good time to interject and go through question number 1 of JLB Trivia. Now, here's how it works, folks. I say the question for JLB Trivia, and then whoever gets the first correct response through, I make a note of their name, and then once we go through all the questions, I will announce who is the winner of this here 23rd anniversary of 9/11 JLB special live presentation, JLB Trivia. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to test those buzzers. So in the live stream chat, if you want to be part of the game, test your buzzer by typing buzz or BZZ or hello or John LeBon, you're the best live streamer in the world, or anything like this. Anything at all will be acceptable to get yourself into the contest. Test those buzzers. Come on now. Time to test those buzzers. I just explained how to do it. Let's get those buzzer testings going. And I'll fiddle around with my soundboard here.
We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy rabbit holes.
That's Hillary. She says, no crazy conspiracy rabbit holes. That's what she says. No crazy conspiracy rabbit holes. Thank you, Hillary. You see, me, I don't mind going down the rabbit holes, so long as I keep myself, like I always know how to get out of there if it goes crazy. So, for example, you meet these lovely people, they seem intelligent, they seem friendly, they seem like nice people. Then they start trying to tell you that Conor McGregor's a woman. And it's like, you know what, I got stuff to do, I'm out of here. And then you get out of that rabbit hole and leave those insane people to themselves. Because you know there are some people who say that Donald Trump is a woman.
What's wrong with that?
Well, truth, Uncle Ab, I'll tell you what's wrong with that. That is, you've got no evidence for that. It's completely insane, completely bonkers, and it's embarrassing, and you should be ashamed of yourself, actually.
What's wrong with that?
Well, some people are shameless, and if you're one of them, then good luck to you, but I really think you can do a lot better than this, Ab. I think you described yourself best.
He's nuts.
Yeah, if you believe Donald Trump is a woman, I'd say that you're nuts. That's my personal opinion. And all these people who go around saying this shit, go on camera. All these people go around saying all these celebrities, like Justin Bieber's a woman or Taylor Swift is a man or any of this stuff. Go on camera and show us, if you're meant to be a man, show us how masculine you are. Or if you're meant to be a woman, show us how feminine you are. Go and do it. They don't. Have you ever noticed how they never do that? All of you believers in this trend shit, have you noticed how your gurus who've taught you how to identify, have you noticed that they don't actually go on camera themselves? Have you ever wondered why that is? It's absolutely ridiculous, man. Anyway, I need to get back on with the show. Yeah, boys. So let's take a look. Who's in? Oh, no one has tested their buzzer. Okay, that didn't really work, did it? The idea was you're meant to type into the live stream chat BZZ or Buzz or JLB. I wish you would do 3 live streams a week and I'll support you if you do, or something like that, folks. Type something in so we can just make sure that your buzzers are working, that your live stream chat is working. Am I even coming through? Am I even on right now? I think I am. I think I'm on. I think I'm live. We'll do it live. Go ride it. We'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. Now, who's that a reference to? You know what? That's another bonus question. Who was that a what I just did? This is, guys, this is now for 1 point. Who is that a reference to? Come on now. I should have got some thinking music. I should have inserted some thinking music onto my soundboard, but I didn't do that. Is it too late to add some thinking music? I ponder. Have I got room for some thinking music? Why, I think I do. Let's go to server settings, soundboard. Yes, I've still got 3 slots available. So what I need to do is to go and get thinking music. We can do this on the fly, folks. Thinking, okay, I don't mean literally thinking music. I mean as in what they play for game shows, man. See, man, YouTube is nowhere near as good as it used to be. Look at this nonsense. No, I want more like the thing from Jeopardy. Was it Jeopardy thinking music? Let's have a look. I think it's called Jeopardy. I never really watched it. Let's see now. Ooh, Jeopardy theme. Is it the theme we want or the thinking music, folks? Come on now. Ooh, that's what we're looking for, folks. Alright, so we go to this. Then we go to YouTube Downloader. Oh, it's quite a process, folks, when I add music to add clips to my soundboard. Oh, yes. I'm a professional. Don't you worry about that. Yeah, boy. Shit, man. JLB, what the hell are you talking about, son? Well, you see, one day I was minding my own business, and then I discovered that we'd been like... Oh, hold on. We've lost the screen. There it is. Sorry, folks. And then one day I discovered that I'd been lied to about this... these news events to do with innocent kids getting shot and what have you, and that sent me on tumbling down the rabbit hole. And then eventually I discovered I'd been lied to about outer space, and that NASA was a load of nonsense, and evolution was nonsense, and dinosaurs were nonsense, and nuclear bombs are nonsense, and then what we've been taught about the differences or the lack thereof between the so-called races is all nonsense, and then mass immigration. I mean, there was just a whole bunch of stuff that I was just getting hit with, you know, and I'd been very well programmed by school and by TV and by movies and what have you, so it was not easy for me to take that I was totally wrong. But at the time I was young, I was still able to do it. As you get older, it gets harder and harder to admit when you're wrong, but at that time I was young, and yeah, that's what happened, folks. So anyway, so I'm just changing my sound effect here. Now I'll just amplify it a little bit. I have to make it less than 5 seconds, you see, otherwise it doesn't go on my soundboard. My soundboard has a 5-second limit, you see. Yep, alright, now we just go to export as thinking music. Yes, that'll do. Alright. Sorry folks, I should have had this lined up ahead of time, but as they say in the classics, you get what you pay for. The only people who can complain about the show are Mike, Nathan Oakley, and who was the third one who sent through a tip? I was meant to write it down. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone else sent through a small tip as well. The 3 of you can complain about the quality of the show. Everyone else can shut their mouths. It's top level entertainment, absolutely for free. You just have to listen to me talk about adding soundboard clips for a few seconds. Alright, now we go to server settings, There we go. Upload sound. And then we go to SFX Thinking Music is what I called it. Yes. Thinking Music. Upload. Very nice. Now we take it for a bit of a test run. So folks, I'm going to ask you a question, and then the first one to reply with the correct comment in the live stream chat will get the point. And while you're thinking, I will play this music. Oh yes, see folks, ooh, it's working very smooth right now. Good stuff. Now where was I? Oh yes, the live stream chat, the questions. That's right. We're just joining us late, folks. We've got this live stream chat. Feel free to join us for that. If you're watching or listening on delay, I'm sorry you can't be in the official competition, but you can still play along at home. Do you know the answers to these questions that I'm going to ask for this here JLB Trivia? Took me some time to put this together for you all, and that's what we're going to do. So let's go and take a look at the live stream chat. And let's see, YouTube says that his dad did no research into conspiracies. Okay. Here for now says hello. YouTube says fastest finger first. The unmediated mind says my dad thinks I'm smart but crazy. Let's see. Here for now says buzz. The unmediated mind says buzz, buzz. These guys get the idea. Zinvalis got the answer. It was Bill O'Reilly. Alright, so we've got Waterman Chris on 1 from earlier. Then we've got Zinvalis on 1 point. And that's before we even ask our first official question. That's right. And for those of you who are like, Bill O'Reilly, JLB, what the hell are you talking about? Well, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Here is Bill O'Reilly losing the plot. We'll Do It Live. There used to be a live stream called We'll Do It Live. It was a lot of fun. It was run by this guy called Jeffrey. And Jeffrey decided to come after John LeBon. Big mistake. Now Jeffrey is no longer with us. Really sad state of things.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Yeah. 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
So that was Bill O'Reilly. Apparently the teleprompter stopped working or something, and he got pissed off about the whole thing, and yeah. Bill O'Reilly, there you go. Now, I did say that we would play some JLB trivia, so let's see who's in the live stream chat still. Apparently there's about 40 people watching live from around the world. Very nice. If you're just joining us late, this is a JLB, a very special event, live stream, to commemorate 9/11, 23 years since the day that it happened. We spent the first 2 hours of the show, or the first, I'd say almost 2 hours of the show, going through the CNN, a recording of the CNN broadcast from the morning, from before the first plane hit, and then we watched the first couple of minutes after that news got announced. Okay, are you with me? We'll come back to that. But first, I want to go through 1 or 2 of the questions from this special JLB trivia, and the winner of this JLB trivia will, if they're not already a member of johnlebon.com, they will win a 1-month membership to johnlebon.com on the house. That's what's going to happen. Now, if the winner is already a JLB member, then that is superfluous. They're already a member. But if you're not a member, here's your chance. You don't have to spend any money. You can save that money for your alcohol and your drugs and your prostitution, your Netflix and your Hollywood propaganda and all the other shit you waste your money on. Save it for that. You don't have to give it to me. You'll get a free membership to johnlebon.com. It won't cost you a cent if you win this trivia. Of course, what you could do if you want to find out some material on johnlebon.com, there's hundreds of hours waiting for you right now, is just go and sign up for a month. You can cancel after 1 month if you want. Go and support independent media. That's also an option. That is also an option that you should consider. But let's get on with this live stream, what did I call it? JLB trivia. Alright, so are you guys ready for this? Alright, question number 1. Ooh, this one is a pretty straightforward one. You've got to give me all of the correct answers. There's 4 answers. You have to get all 4 of them right. The flight numbers of the 4 planes on 9/11, what were they? That's the question. And you have to give all 4. Okay? Not just 1 or 2. All 4. So, oh, what did I say? Sorry, I'm going to do the thinking music. Sorry, folks, here we go. There you go. Ah, shit, man. I really do need a producer. I really do. I'm trying to run the whole thing by myself. Alright, so let's go back to the live stream chat. Has anybody got the correct answer? What were the names, what were the numbers of the flights on 9/11? Let's find out. Did anybody get the right answer? Are the answers even coming through? Is my audio coming through? Am I still connected to the internet? Am I talking to anybody? Am I all alone in this crazy world? Who knows, folks? What a time to be alive. Yeah, boy. What? How come there's no answers coming through? Okay, Vux Sucks says 73. Okay, firstly, no. That's not... Okay, Validation Boy says 77. That's correct. 93 is correct. 205 and 62. No, that's not right. The unmediated mind says 11 and 93. Yeah, that's 2 of them. There were 4. Goodness gracious me, folks. Alright, finally, Highliner Films. Let me just go and make sure this is coming through for those of you watching. Highliner Films gets one. So let me just write his name down. Otherwise I forget who got what points. Alright, so Highliner Films got it. The answers were 11, 175, 77, and 93. Those were the correct answers. So to this dude, have I got my correct? I really haven't updated this soundboard properly. Alright, that's alright. I've got a way to get around this. I can quickly upload my what I need to upload. I'm just going to my files. Man, I've got so many files on this freaking computer. Oh, it's really crazy, man. I need to do a clean out. Alright, so I go to this, then I go to sound effects. Then I go to sound effect correct. And then I type in correct. Then I go to upload. And then I say smooth as silk. Yeah, so Highliner said 11, 175, 93, and 77. There we go. We got it. Thank you, Highliner. Very good, yes. So here are the tabs that I prepared earlier. Alright, let's zoom in there for those of you watching at home. I'll read it for those of you who are listening live or on delay. American Airlines Flight 11 went into the North Tower at 8:46. 17 minutes later, 175, United Airlines 175 went into the South Tower. Okay, so American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon. And in the fourth and final flight, United Airlines 93, it crashed into Shanksville, is the story. Okay, now, I have to say, I'm a little surprised that so many people got the wrong answer to that one. Because, like, now, folks, I'm not trying to insult you or offend you or upset you in any way. So I'm just trying to express myself here. How can you have been consuming conspiracy content for years, if not decades, and not know basic information like that? Guys, again, I'm not trying to offend you. Like, please, folks, tell me, like, in the live stream chat, I'm not... How would I benefit from pissing you off? I'm not trying to piss you off. This is just a serious question. Man to man or man to woman. Serious question. How have you spent all of these years researching the truth, and then one of the most basic facts about the official story of 9/11, you don't even know that? How is that possible? This is a serious question, folks. Validation Boy says, give me half a point, bro. Well, I tell you what, you got 97, you got 77, 93, and I do feel like I owe you a solid, because we were meant to have an interview a few months ago, and I got the times wrong, so I turned up late, and the interview didn't go ahead, and I'm very sorry about that. So I feel like I owe you. So, and that was 100% my fault, not your fault. That was, sometimes things are totally my fault. This is an example of that. So I am going to, since you did get half the answer right, I'm going to give VB half a point. But that'll only be useful if you get other questions right, though. Like, that's, we'll see. But Highliner Films gets the answer right. Now, here I am in a live stream chat, says, why is it important to have those numbers committed to memory? Very good question. What do you know about those numbers, folks? So this is the next question on the JLB trivia. This one's going to be harder to... Like, this is more of a subjective question in the sense of there's no 4 objectively correct answers. But just, if you can just use words to try to explain to yourself, to explain to me. What do you know about those numbers? 11, 175, 93, and 77. Just give me anything that sounds like you've got any idea of what's going on with the esoteric, with the numbers, and I'll give you a point. Any of those numbers, preferably. If you get all four right, I'll give you 2 points. Why are those numbers significant when it comes to magic? M-A-G-I-C-K. Like this is, so my point is, once you understand the magical with a K, that is the Crowleyan, the Aleister Crowley significance of the numbers, then you'll see why you probably should have those numbers committed to memory. Then you'll see why. It's really straightforward. This is like entry level to understanding what 9/11 really was. This is entry level. Forget all the crap you've been told about Osama this, or George Bush that, or Lucky Larry Silverstein, or the missing trillion. All that stuff is bullshit, conspiracy candy. What we're talking about here is entry level esoteric understanding of 9/11. By the way, Sean Hamer's in the live stream chat. Hello, Sean Hamer. Good to see you. So Vuxsuck says they're popular Masonic numbers. That's not good enough. I want more detail. David Hazel says maybe I smoke too much to remember those numbers. Yeah, maybe you do, David. I've shared my thoughts before about alcohol and drug, other substance use and abuse, and I'm not here to judge anybody. In fact, I'm drinking a nice little frothy, a nice Italian frothy right now, so I'm not in a position to judge other people. But the amazing thing is, despite the amount of poison that I ingest, somehow my brain still remembers these things. And I think it's because I spend the time to do the research and produce articles, produce videos, produce content. When you're forced to produce stuff, it's like when you're back in school. Did you just watch the teacher on the whiteboard and then just go home and you remember what you... No, you had to do the exercises to remember how to use the formulas and the equations. Like, you have to do the practice. So people who are not doing practice won't remember, which I think sometimes people's substance use and abuse, they're doing that instead of doing work, like intellectual work. I'm not judging them. I'm just saying that's what I think's going on. But you really should know these numbers, folks. It's 4 numbers. 11, 175, 77, 93. This is not complicated, folks. I don't think any of you guys are going to get it. So if we get time later on in the show, I'll come back and explain it to you. But I'm telling you right now, you really should know these numbers, folks. You really should know these numbers. And I'll tell you what, I've got good news for you. I've got articles that explain this stuff that are actually available for free on my website at johnlebon.com. So I'm going to post these in the live stream chat. Alright, I've got 2 articles, very important. One is called Transcending 9/11. One is called The Wizards of New York. And the first part of both of those article series is available for free. I will link to these in the show notes below. I recommend you go and check them out. But yeah, guys, you should know about 11, 175, 77, and 93. It all goes back to Crowleyan magic, magic with a K. And it doesn't matter whether you believe in Crowleyan magic or not. That's not the issue here. The issue is that somebody does seem to believe in this stuff, and somehow the numbers that are involved in this event are encoded with Crowleyan numbers. And I would say that's because this whole thing was a magical ritual. And I know how crazy that sounds, but I've got reasons for why I say this stuff. Very good reasons. Some would say the best reasons. Alright guys, we're going to move on to the next question. You really let me... You've taken the wind out of my sails, folks. In fact, I'm tempted just to cancel the whole trivia right now. You've really let the wind out of my sails, folks. We'll do one more question and then I'll see how I feel. But I've got 6 questions here, folks. Like 6 more questions, folks. But I'm tempted to wrap it up right now. You've disappointed me. You've let me down. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I'm actually I've taken this one personally. I thought you guys were better than this. Apparently not. Unbelievable. JLB, why should we know the most basic facts of the most important psyop of the early 21st century? Yeah, why should you know this stuff? Why should you know this stuff? Why should you know this stuff? Alright, what's the next question? You know what, I need to take a quick break, folks. This has really got to be this. That's meant to be the easy question. Folks, I started off with the softball question. That's how you're meant to do trivia. Start off with a softball so people get emotionally invested because they think, oh yeah, I can win. That's the softball question. Oh my god. I need to reconsider what I'm doing with my life here, folks. Alright, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to chill out for a couple minutes. I'm going to come back in a much better mood, I promise. And we're going to carry on with this JLB trivia. Okay, we're going to come back. We're going to carry on with the live stream trivia. Yes, that's right. And we're going to carry on with the trivia. But folks, I really need you to help me to believe that my material is actually... Help me to believe that my audience is... Help me to believe the last 10 years hasn't been a complete and utter waste of everyone's time. Okay, I need you to help me, folks. I really do. I'm struggling here. I'm on the line ball. You better get the next question right. But it's more difficult than the last question. Oh my God in heaven. We're in some trouble here, folks. We're in a lot of trouble. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a couple more minutes from this live footage of CNN from the day. So this is from 8:57. So what's that? 10 minutes. 10 minutes, give or take, since the first plane hit the first tower. We'll play a couple minutes of this and we'll come back for question number 2 of the JLB trivia. Big thanks to those of you leaving nice comments in the comments section. And a big thanks to Mike, to Nathan Oakley, and to John L. for the tips that they sent through. Guys, the tips are much appreciated. It's just a few dollars here or there. If most of them, I've got an audience of hundreds of people. If all of them just sent through, or even just if some of them just sent through a few dollars here, hey JLB, go and buy yourself a beer, go and buy yourself a dinner. If they just did this more often, I could do these shows 2 or 3 times a week. But it's hard to justify it when sometimes you don't know if people really appreciate it. So let me know you appreciate it. Send me an email. If you've got no money, that's fine. Send me an email. johnlebon123@gmail.com. You say, JLB, I listened to your live stream, and that was 2 hours of good entertainment. Thank you very much. That means as much to me as money does. All right? Send me money or send me a nice email. Do something to let me know that you value what I'm trying to do here. Because a lot of time and effort goes into this stuff, folks. A lot of time and effort. 10 years of my life, in fact, has gone into this. And I like to think that I'm putting out a good show. But I can't know unless you let me know. So email me or send me a tip. And if you don't know how to send a tip, just go to johnlebon.com and go to the support section. There is a support section at johnlebon.com. It's very straightforward. And you can use, it's PayPal. It takes 2 clicks, 3 clicks. And you can send through $5, $10, $20. Some people send through $100. Can you believe that? It is all appreciated if you like what I'm doing. But you don't have to send through money, folks. Just send a nice email. Just spend 10 minutes of your day to send a nice email saying, JLB, I don't agree with everything that you say, but I listen to your shows and I enjoy them, and I'm glad you do them. If I get those emails, man, it means the world to me. So send through a tip or send through a nice email. Do one of the 2 things. I'd really appreciate it. So let's just watch a few more minutes of this footage. This is remarkable to me. I feel very blessed that someone recorded this. And it's not just CNN. They've got all different channels. We're just focusing on CNN for today. But they've got all different channels. They've got different recordings of radio broadcasts and stuff. It's really crazy. So we're up to 8:57 on the day of the event. So about 10 minutes after the first plane hit the first tower. This is what was being broadcast via the cable news network. Let's get back to this.
Coming from the east side as well.
Gene, can you see any of the debris currently on the ground area?
Absolutely. I mean, it's continuing to kind of flutter down like leaflets. And at first there was just tons of debris, and it continues to fall out. And it looks like these uppermost floors are definitely on fire.
Can you see any actual people in that area who may have been hit by any of this debris or were not able to get out of the way? Can you see any crowds that may be too close to where they should be? Anything like that?
No, I don't think so. And it's not a highly trafficked area at the base of the World Trade Center, so that's one fortunate thing.
Gene, right now we're continuing to look at pictures of this devastating scene. According to Sean Murtaugh, Vice President of Finance, he witnessed what he described as a twin-engine plane, possibly a 737. He was almost absolutely sure that it was a large passenger jet that went into that plane. Gene, you're saying that you didn't see anything initially. You didn't see a plane actually approach the building.
I had no idea it was a plane. I just saw the entire top part of the World Trade Center explode. So I turned on the TV when I heard they said it was a plane. It was really strange.
Were you there living in New York during the World Trade Center bombing?
No, I wasn't.
Fortunately so. When you say a sonic boom, did you actually feel anything? Were things shaking in your apartment?
You know, yeah, you could feel it. It was just a gigantic sonic boom. The TV it went off for a second, and then it went back on. And the windows, you know, you felt the vibrations on the windows.
You were saying it's not a high-traffic area usually, but can you guesstimate how many people may be in an area like that at this hour of the morning?
It would be hard to say. There is a huge courtyard between the two World Trade Center buildings, and the only issue might have been tourists or business people out in this courtyard area, and they possibly would have been hit. But the people that are immediately around the base of the World Trade Center, I would say at any given time, you're talking about maybe 20 or 30 people at best.
We were talking with Sean Murtaugh earlier, and he said this is not normally an area where you would see some sort of aircraft, certainly, obviously, that low, but in that is not a high-traffic area in terms of flights?
I don't know about flights. You know, I have a balcony down here in Battery Park City, and they have that needle sticking out of the top of the World Trade Center, and I've always wondered, you know, if anyone would kind of get too close to the building, you know, and accidentally veer into it.
Gene, tell us a little bit about that area and how emergency crews would be able to access that area. Would that be relatively difficult or easy to access for emergency people?
I would imagine it would be slightly difficult because to get around the base of the World Trade Center building, there's really only the one street entrance. The other sides of the building are surrounded by other buildings in the courtyard, and so it's just this West Side Highway, this one major street that runs up the west side of Manhattan, that makes it accessible for the fire engines. And, you know, it's amazing to sit here and watch this building on fire, and you've got this tiny little fire engine that I'm watching.
That's all you see right now is the one fire engine?
Where the fire engines are, it's a little bit obscured by other buildings.
Right.
Gene, let me ask you, I know I'm asking you to be a bit of an expert on the World Trade Center, but there's a famous viewing deck for tourists on one of the towers. When you say that this is the North Tower, is this the one that services a lot of the tourists to get their view and get to the restaurant at the top?
As a matter of fact, it is. And as I'm sure you can see, there's a ton of smoke coming out right now. I'm just guessing the fire seems to be worse on, it looks like it's about 15 floors down from the top of the building.
Yeah, one of the eyewitnesses, one of our affiliates was talking to, said that she thought that this was on the 80th floor. We know that there's an open air deck 110 stories high, and the glass enclosed observatory is on the 107th floor. So there is the possibility that people may...
Well, they got that part right. They were consistent. All of the people did say around the 80th floor. So the eyewitness, the so-called eyewitness testimony was consistent. If you're just joining us late, by the way, this is the JLB special live stream for the anniversary of September 11. And we used to do member calls for September 11, and we do JLB trivia, and it was always a hit. And I have to say, the members of johnlebon.com tend to they at least get the numbers right. In fact, Dante, who is, in his estimation, the champion of the JLB trivia, the heavyweight champion, credit where it's due, he always gets that question right, and he complains. He's like, JLB, why do you give us these easy questions? Well, Dante, if you're listening, on delay probably, it's an easy question for you and for some of the members of johnlebon.com, because we're interested in the esoteric and we explore this stuff. The rest of the so-called truth people, the truth seekers, they don't. That was not an easy question for them, as you just saw. Like that, and I swear to Keck, folks, that was meant to be one of the softball questions. Anyway, now, folks, if you can't, send JLB a nice email to perk me up, to give me a nice start to my day when I check my emails. Oh, there's a nice email from someone. And you can't send through a tip, even a $5 or $10 tip, to say, JLB, I like the show. But the next frop is on me. If you can't do either of those things, I've got another idea. You can also support me by going at Validation Boy, go on Bombersations. I want all the live stream chat. If you like Validation Boy, and I happen to like him, he should be a guest on Bombersations. And he did turn up to our arranged interview time, but I got my times wrong, and I got there 2 hours late, and he'd already left by then. And I'm very sorry about that. But I think Validation Boy should come back for a second chance. I think he'd be a terrific guest on Bombersations. In fact, I think we could fill 2 hours and not even scratch the surface of what I want to talk about with VB and everything he knows about what happened back in 2015-16. So let's get VB back on the show. Go, those of you in the live stream chat, go at Validation Boy, go on Bombersations, and let's try to peer pressure him to come on Conversations. Any day next week, any day, any time. As long as I'm awake, like I have to sleep a few hours a day, but any day that suits him, I will set it aside. We'll get VB on the show. I'd love to have VB on the Conversations. All right, so let's carry on with the live stream chat then. What are you guys talking about? Lots of people in the live stream chat. Goodness gracious, lots of people. YouTube, VB's in there, of course, the Unmediated Mind. He says, I did watch a video recently on drugs that Crowley did, but it's not that interesting to me. Okay, the story of Aleister Crowley might not be interesting to you, but it seems to be interesting to somebody, whoever scripted or helped put together this 9/11 event, whether it was a human or an intelligence, an artificial intelligence, or some great cosmic mind, whatever it was, seems to care about the Crowley and stuff, and that is the entry into the esoteric. Like, you just have to get your head around that, and then this is early level stuff, folks. It really is. All right, so let's get on to question number 2 of the JLB trivia, folks. Am I coming through, by the way? I really do need a producer. Yep, I'm coming through. All right, let's carry on then. So let's carry on with this JLB trivia.
Because I am a info whore, not an info war, info whore.
Thank you, Rick from Port Macquarie. Interesting comment. Of course, Ab says that those of us who are interested in these topics, we're all misfits.
We're a collection of misfits. The misfit elves, that's who we are.
D-Rex says that this show is giving you good information.
This is a good audio right here. Getting a lot of information.
Fuster Cluck says it's very interesting.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Thank you, Fuster Cluck. So, folks, are you ready for question number 2 of this JLB trivia?
Was that a real question, or was that soundboard?
No, this is really JLB, Anna. I'm giving you you're actually listening to JLB right now, all right? And one more thing. Fuster says that he thinks Kamala was pretty cute back in the day.
I thought Kamala was pretty cute back when she was 29 years old.
All right, Fuster Cluck, thank you for the comments. Much appreciated here at johnlebon.com. Yeah, boy. All right, so guys, folks, question number 2 of the JLB trivia. Okay, here's what I wrote. It says, now, folks, this is the question. So as soon as you know the answer, type it in the live stream chat, but you've got to get the correct answer here. And the correct answer, I will take either what the thing was called or what it looks like, okay? The question is, what was standing at 55 Church Street on the day of 9/11? And it's actually still there to this day in downtown New York. All right, so what was standing right across from the World Trade Center at 55 Church Street? That's the question. So now we go to our thinking music. Do you need some more thinking music? Alright, now we go to the live stream chat and we see, has anyone actually got the right answer? Alright, so the unmediated mind. The unmediated mind is the first one with the correct answer. The unmediated. Which, by the way, that username doesn't really ring a bell for me. Most of the people here are they're regulars. But some of the people in the live stream chat, I'm not really familiar with their names. But yes, the unmediated mind came through with the correct answer. He said, or he or she said, I'm guessing it's he, said the monolith. So now I go to this soundboard. And then we go to this one. Yes, the unmediated mind said that the answer is the monolith. Now, here's what we do. I've got this all lined up ahead of time. So on your screen, those of you watching live can see this. This is the Millennium Hilton Downtown New York Hotel. Let's zoom in. The Millennium Downtown New York is a hotel in Lower Manhattan, New York City, located at the southeast corner of Fulton and Church Street. The hotel is adjacent to 195 Broadway, which it shares the block and is located across Church Street from the World Trade Center. The building is 55 stories tall with a total of 471 guest rooms and 98 suites. So it looks like the Black Monolith. Looks very similar. In fact, if you didn't know better, you'd think they designed it to look just like the Black Monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, one of the many interesting things is the phone number of this place. Now, it doesn't say it on Wikipedia, but I can tell you what the phone number is. It is 212-693-2001. Okay, so 212-693-2001. Now, the 2001 is... so that was a phone number on the day of the event too, by the way. They didn't just change it after the fact. So somehow, this building that was built several years before September 11 had in its phone number a 2001. But those other numbers... The next question for the JLB trivia is, putting aside the 2001, which speaks for itself, because, you know, September 11, 2001, and 2001 A Space Odyssey, and this building looks like the This building looks like the black monolith from 2001 A Space Odyssey, and it's called the Millennium Hilton. Putting all of that aside, you got the phone number 212-693-2001, so the 2001 is pretty straightforward. But how about the 212-693? Do those numbers mean anything to you? So for 1 point, explain why the 212-693, some people might think that is rather interesting. Now, if you're a member of johnlebon.com, you'll know why I did a 20-hour series about a particular film. Yes, 20 hours, folks, using a particular film as a starting point for an exploration through pop culture, through the 90s and the 2000s, and even from before then too, actually. All these TV shows with these strange so-called coincidences that seem to predict the future. A 20-hour series called Falling Down the Rabbit Hole, available at johnlebon.com. All members get instant access to that 20-hour series, plus hundreds of hours of other content. It's available all right now at johnlebon.com. So members of johnlebon.com, you should know the answer to this. Non-members, this will be more difficult. So the phone number of this Millennium Hilton is 212-693-2001. Why the 212-693? Why do some people think that might be important? Let's see if anybody gets the answer right to this. Let's find out. Let's go and take a look at the live stream chat. Let's have a look here. What are they saying? YouTube says, did it post that time or have I been shafted again? Well, bro, so I asked my question, and then the first correct answer was from the unmediated mind. And then Zinvalis was second, said Hilton Hotel. Then Validation Boy said Bull Statue, but no, that's not the answer. Then YouTube said Millennium Hilton. So your answer did come through, but you were beaten by the unmediated mind, is what happened there. Now, has anybody got the answer to this question, the 212-693? Folks, I'm telling you, this is hurting me more than it's hurting you, folks. I'll tell you that right now for free. Goodness gracious. You know what? Time's up. You know what? Where's that Happy Gilmore thing? Let's do it. No, not Happy Gilmore. What was the other one? The other Adam Sandler one? Billy Madison. Billy Madison, no points. I'm going to do it, folks. Here we go. Here it is for you, folks. For those of you who just have no idea what's going on here. You think you've done all this research for years, if not decades, and you still don't know the basics of the esoterics of 9/11. This is for you.
Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay, a simple wrong would have done just fine, but
you remain one.
Guys, I'm really not trying to be nasty or anything. I'm just telling you how I feel about the situation here. This is entry-level 9/11 esoterica, okay? So yeah, you know about what was his name? The Jewish dude, Silverstein, and his $1 billion insurance thing or whatever. And you know about Donald Rumsfeld's missing trillions, but you don't even know about the Millennium Hilton that was standing across from the World Trade Center, and the phone number. That's remarkable to me. But you know what? I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm just saying how I feel. All right, let's go back. Let's get back on with this trivia then. All right, the next question. Okay, now this is the softest, ballest question of the whole lot that I've got written down, and I probably should have made this one the first question, but I thought the first question was pretty softball, but this one's even softer ball. Someone's going to get this. If no one gets this right, that's it. We're done here. I'll tell you right now for free. We're out of here. But I'm pretty sure someone's going to get this right. So, are you guys ready for this? Here's the question. What day of the week was September 11, 2001? Come on, folks. This one is... if no one gets this, I'm out of here, man. I'm done. I can't handle this nonsense anymore. It's really depressing. Someone has to get this. Someone has to get this. Someone has to get this right. Goodness gracious me, man. We're in a lot of trouble, folks. We are in a lot of trouble. So while we wait for the correct answer to come through, which surely it will, what else do I have on my soundboard here? Well, we've got my truth uncle Dave J.
Nobody died, nobody got hurt.
Nobody died, nobody got hurt. Some people feel that way about 9/11. Other people are a bit more circumspect about the whole thing. Abdefategologist, this is what he had to say about one of his own audio chats just a week or so ago.
Wow, this conversation has really gone to crap. I better go now.
That's true.
Missum says that's true. Whereas Boogeyman says, JLB, you heard me right.
You heard me right. I'm a man of my fucking word. You heard me the fuck right, John LeBon.
Hey, calm down, Boogeyman. We're all friends here, dude. Take it easy. Relax. Everything's going to be okay. Especially if someone gets this answer right. Because if they don't, man, we're out of here. I'll tell you right now for free. Alright, so we've got a few correct answers here. Validation Boy says Tuesday. YouTube says Tuesday. Zinvala says Tuesday. Vux Sucks says Wednesday. What the hell? The Unmediated Mind says Tuesday. And it looks as though VB has got the correct answer. That's what it looks like to me, so I'm writing it down. Validation Boy, very good. Alright. By the way, I did say to people, we need to peer pressure this dude to come and do a conversation. And YouTube did say... Oh no, he was talking about the questions. Did any of you try to peer pressure Validation Boy to come and do a conversation? Oh, here we go. Laurie Gale says, VB, do it. Thank you, Laurie Gale. You know what? I'm giving you a bonus point. That's right. That's how we roll here at johnlebon.com. We give the correct answer to VB for getting the correct answer. And we give a correct point for Laurie Gale for saying, VB, go and do a conversation. Very nice. All right, next question, folks. You ready for this? Okay. Oh, now this one's a tough one. I don't think any of you are going to get this one right. At all. But it's worth trying. Here's what it says on my piece of paper. All right. What district or area was torn down in the 1960s to make way for the World Trade Center? Okay, let me read that again. So this is in Manhattan. There was a district or an area, and it was known as something, but it was torn down to make way for the World Trade Center in the 1960s. What was the name of that district or area? That is the question. Here's some thinking music. Hillary says, don't go down those rabbit holes.
We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy rabbit holes.
Meanwhile, Bush is saying we shouldn't tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories.
Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories.
Interesting. Let's go back to the live stream chat. What are they saying? Have they got the right answer? Does anyone know what the hell is going on? Unmediated Mind says District 93. YouTube, here we go. YouTube says Radio Row. Alright. He got it. Very well done. Alright, we're going to come back for the next couple of questions of this JLB trivia. But first, let's go... Oh, sorry, for those of you who don't know this. So Radio Row, let me put this on the screen. There was a thing called Radio Row. Let me zoom in for those of you watching at home. Radio Row. This is from an article called Transcending 9/11. Now this is from part 2. It's a multi-part series. Part 1 is available for free right now at johnlebon.com. You can go find it at johnlebon.com. This is from part 2, and we're talking about, and so I'm talking about the esoteric elements of 9/11. All right. One of the things you have to know is that this was built. The World Trade Center was built on what used to be Radio Row. So I wrote, in order to construct the World Trade Center complex, pre-existing buildings had to be acquired, and then the businesses within them effectively evicted. What occupied the space which would eventually become the World Trade Center? A place known as Radio Row. and then I give some information about that from a different source. Then I show you on the screen where Radio Row used to be. All right, now this was an area that was full of businesses that dealt with radios and with electronics. Back in the day when people didn't have TV as much as they do now, radio was the main mass, it was the mainstream media. The biggest mass communication channel or medium was radio. And so the World Trade Center was built on Radio Row. Now you might be thinking, oh, JLB, who cares? Well, not many people probably. But once you start to put a few of these pieces together, everything makes a lot more sense. And so that's what my article's about. Transcending 9/11. Go and check it out, johnlebon.com. Yeah, boy. So yes, Radio Row. So YouTube got the correct answer. And if you want to know more about this and so much more esoteric stuff, go to johnlebon.com. And I explain to you all the research that I've done. And I've read a lot of stuff. I've read a lot of blog posts. I've read a lot of books. I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I've watched a lot of live streams. I've watched a lot of videos. And I've taken notes. And I've double-checked what people say. And most of it's bullshit, but some of it's true. And then I've put it all together in this overarching piece of work that is johnlebon.com. All the information is there. Doesn't mean you'll agree with me, but at least you'll see where I'm coming from. I provide the evidence and the footnotes and the references and the documents and the receipts. Everything is shown for you. And it goes way beyond what you've been told by your favorite so-called truth tellers and gurus and all these. Really, most of these people, they're just here to waste your time. And if you just want to waste your time, that's cool. But some of us are here to learn. And some of us are actually here to okay, this stuff I don't know, I want to learn it. And what is the evidence that we're learning? If we can't get basic fucking questions right, folks, some serious questions have to be asked. Alright, so let's get back on with this 9/11 real time. Let's go back. This is from 9:01, so about 15 minutes after the first plane had hit. Let's carry on with this. And we'll come back to the rest of the questions in just a moment. But first, this is from CNN at 9:01 in the morning on Tuesday. It was a Tuesday. Thank you very much. Validation boy, it was a Tuesday. Was it YouTube who got that one? It was YouTube, yes. Let me write that down. YouTube got it. Thank you, YouTube. It was a Tuesday. This is from Tuesday, September 11, 2001. 9:01 in the morning. CNN. Take a look at this.
Very well be trapped up there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Jean Yearman.
You're very welcome.
Eyewitness here to a loud sonic boom she described as she was sitting inside her apartment, and she looked up and saw the side of the World Trade Center exploded into flames and black smoke. We are going to join another one of our New York affiliates, WABC, for their live coverage.
Plane overhead, and then all of a sudden I thought it sounded kind of loud, and then I looked up, and all of a sudden it smashed right dead into the center of the World Trade Center. Big flash of flame, fire coming out from all over. Then all the bricks is a huge hole right now. It almost looks like the plane probably went through. I'm not sure.
Winston, can you see? Are you on the north side there where the plane made contact?
Yes, I am.
Now, when you say a huge hole, one of our earlier witnesses, Libby Clark, said not much of the plane came down off the building. Much of it went
totally
right
into the building.
It's in the building, from what you can see.
Right.
Now, can you see if there's a lot of debris downstairs, Winston?
No, because it looked like it inverted. With the impact, everything went inside the building.
Inside.
The only thing that came out was a little bit of the outside awning. But I'd say the hole is, let me just get a better look right now.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd say the hole takes about, looks like 6, 7 floors were taken out. And there's more explosions right now. Hold on, people are running.
Winston, hold on just a moment. We've got an explosion inside.
The building's exploding right now. You got people running up the street.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll tell you what's going on.
Okay, just put Winston on pause there for just a moment.
Okay, the whole building just exploded some more. The whole top part.
Okay.
The building's still intact. People are running up the streets. Am I still connected?
Winston, this would support probably what Libby and you both said, that perhaps the fuselage was in the building that would cause a second explosion such as that.
Well, that's what just happened then.
That certainly.
Yeah, people are running up.
We are getting word that perhaps.
Okay, hold on. The people here everybody's panicking.
All right, Winston, Winston, let me put Winston on hold for just a moment.
Okay, I don't know how much longer we're staying. I'm inside of a diner right now.
Well, Winston, you know what? If you could give us a call back, I just don't want to panic here on the air. Let's just take some of our pictures from News Chopper 7. Now, one of our producers said perhaps a second plane was involved, and let's not even speculate to that point, but at least put it out there that perhaps that may have happened. The second explosion would certainly back the theory from a couple of eyewitnesses that the plane fuselage perhaps stayed in those upper buildings. Now, if you look at the second building, there are two, that both twin towers now are on fire. Now, this was not the case, am I correct? A couple of moments ago. This is the second twin tower now on fire. And we're going to check on the second flight if perhaps that had happened. This all began at about 8:48 this morning. Again, what we know, in case you're just joining us, a small plane, not a Cessna type or 5 or 6 seater, but instead perhaps a passenger flight, ran into the north side of the World Trade Center. As you can see, the second explosion that you're looking at now in the second twin tower, it has spread much debris, much more debris than the first explosion or the first accident. Is Winston still on the line with us? Okay, he's not there, but do we have, I'll just talk to my producer, do we have an eyewitness that perhaps sees better than we do from these pictures? Again, you can see that there is debris falling off.
Come on, dip.
Okay, we actually have an Eyewitness News reporter, Dr. Jay Adlersberg, who was downtown at the time, and he is on the phone with us live. Dr. Jay, what can you tell us?
Hello, Steve. I'm actually uptown at 86th and Riverside. I can see the World Trade Center from about half the building up to the top. And about 5 minutes ago, as I was watching the smoke, a small plane, it looked like a propeller plane, came in from the west, and about 20 or 25 stories below the top of the center, it disappeared for a second and then exploded behind a water tower, so I couldn't tell whether it hit the building or not, but it was very visible that a plane had come in at a low.
All right, yes, very interesting. Yeah, so I might have misspoken before. So YouTube got the question about the Radio Row, and VB got the question about Tuesday. So at the moment, here is the running tally, and I've got a lot more questions here, folks, that I could ask, but time is, it's almost 6 o'clock here in beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria, and I probably should be getting off to sleep at some point. I could be tempted to stay up later. I could be tempted if there was some support shown my way. I mean, it's, you know, if people are enjoying the show, they should show their appreciation one way or another. They should do that. I could be tempted to stay up later. I've got a lot more questions that I could be asking, but we might make the next question the last one, unless there's some other reason to stay up a little bit later. So we've got at the moment on the live stream chat JLB trivia, we've got on 1 point each: Wardman Chris, Zin Valis, Highliner Films, The Unmediated Mind, Laurie Gale, and YouTube. And on 1.5 points is Validation Boy. So unless one of the people on 1 point gets this question correct, what's about to happen? It looks like VB will be the winner, unless we go into overtime, which we could if some people send some support JLB's way. That's all he asks for. He puts in hours and hours and hours into their shows. Very entertaining shows, I have to say. They're interactive, and people enjoy them. Do they support them? That's the question. And a big thanks to the people who did support earlier on. We had with us Mike, Nathan Oakley, and was it John L. All sent through small but appreciated tips. And they are very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Yeah, boy. Okay, so last question, unless we go into overtime. Last question for the JLB Trivia. Are you ready for this? This is the question. This is what I've written down. What major event, I should have written, what major event happened on the 14th anniversary of 9/11? Now, this is a tough one, folks. If you don't get this one, don't feel bad about it. Something happens on September 11, on the 14th anniversary, so 2015, a major world event, a very horrible event. There's footage of it out there that some people say is real or fake, but at least on the surface side, it's a very sad story. Very sad story. It didn't happen in New York, but it happened at a place very similar to the World Trade Center of September 11. What say you, folks? Let me go and get my thinking music. Let's go and take a look. Thinking music, where is it? It's around here somewhere. There it is. This one is a tough one, folks. I'll be very surprised if anyone gets this. So I mixed up the questions. There were some softballs, some mediums, and then some hard questions. This is one of the hard ones, I'll be honest with you. I will level with you. This was probably, in fact, I would say this is probably the hardest one of the whole lot, actually. Yep, I would say that. That's what I would say. That's what I am saying. I'm saying it right now. What say you, fast value from fakeologist.com?
Mystery is a psyop. He's a psyop.
Hold on, you're talking about Mr. E. What did you say about him?
Mystery is a psyop. He's a psyop.
Whoa, that's a very power. I never said that. I never said that Mr. E was a. I'm just saying I think that the transvestigation stuff is nonsense. I never said that Mr. E was a psyop, fast, but let's get this clear one more time. How do you feel about Mr. E?
Mystery is a psyop. He's a psyop.
Goodness gracious. Okay, well, you know your friend Ab the Fakeologist. He loves Mr. E. He's been pushing the transvestigation stuff for like 8 years now.
What's wrong with that?
Well, what's wrong with it, Ab, is that if you actually believe Donald Trump is a woman, then if you really believe that, if you seriously believe that, I mean, as long as you're happy and you're enjoying your life, whatever. But that's you've gone right off with the fairies, man. In my personal opinion. Meanwhile, Fustercluck over here reckons that Kamala's cute.
I thought Kamala was pretty cute back when she was 29 years old.
Mm-hmm. I see. Well, I'm not here to judge anybody, man. I find some of these comments to be rather curious.
This is a good call. Way better than truthmeats.com. I'll just say that now.
Yeah, well, you would say that, Ab. You're a little bit catty. You're a little bit negative towards truthmeats.com. I don't understand why. They're good people doing good work over at truthmeats.com. That's truthmeats.com. Meanwhile, we've got guys like Boogeyman just trying to cause problems.
You heard me right. I'm a man of my fucking word. You heard me the fuck right, John LeBon.
Calm down, bro. We're all friends here, man. Just relax. Take it easy, bro. Alright, so what have we got here? Oh, yeah, YouTube says he's been asking ChatGPT for the answers. That's interesting. Okay. Validation Boy, he's guessing that the big event was the Vegas Pew Pew. No, it wasn't Vegas. Nope, it wasn't. Alright, well, I'll tell you what, folks. We're going to wrap it up there. What a show it's been. Big thanks to all of you guys who've come out and supported here at johnlebon.com with the nice comments in the live stream chat. 3 of you sent through nice tips. Hopefully some of you will listen to this on delay and send through a nice email. JLB, I don't agree with everything you say, but I like your shows. They're entertaining. It's better than watching Netflix or listening to some of those other bullshit so-called truth tellers who just go around in circles and get nowhere. Your stuff is... I enjoy listening to your stuff, JLB. If you could send me an email like that, that'd really mean a lot to me. johnlebon123@gmail.com. Of course, if you want to join johnlebon.com, you can do that. You don't need to do that, though. There's a ton of free content at johnlebon.com. I recommend you go and check it out. And I'm quite confident I'll be back in 12 months' time to do another 9/11 anniversary special. You might be wondering, though, by the way, okay, so JLB, what was the event? What was the event that happened on the anniversary? Well, it's important, so let's go and take a look at this. This was the crane disaster at Mecca. Okay, so on September 11, 2015, there was a crane collapse at Mecca, yes, Saudi Arabia, yeah, that allegedly killed 111 people and injured 394 others. You can see footage of this. Now, why does Mecca matter? Well, if you've read Transcending 9/11, I'll link to that in the comment section below, or The Wizards of New York, again, I'll link to that in the show notes below. This is where I look at the esoteric elements of 9/11, and I'm here to tell you that this World Trade Center complex and the Austin Tobin statue that was in the middle between WTC 1 and 2, and then what happened after the tower supposedly came down, and the other buildings that surround this very important area of the world, it's reminiscent of Mecca. And that might not seem like that's important to you, but you're only hearing, this is all entry-level stuff. When you start exploring further, you see that, hold on, whoever was behind all of this seems to have been inspired by different theological or theosophical ideas. And that's some of the stuff that we explore at johnlebon.com, which maybe you're interested in, maybe you're not. But hopefully if you enjoyed the show, folks, hopefully you've enjoyed the show. I've enjoyed bringing it to you. But it is now 6 o'clock local time. I actually woke up pretty late today because I stayed up late last night watching the debate with Trump and Kamala. And I quite enjoyed it. It was fascinating. So I woke up late today. But still, I think it's just about sleepy time for me. Let's go and check, has there been any more support sent my way? No, there hasn't. Alright. Well, time to wrap up the show. Big thanks to everybody who's come along and supported in the live stream chat and sent through the tips. And hope you've enjoyed the show. I'm John LeBon, comes here from beautiful Pocket Bulgaria. I have to say that after all of this, the winner of the JLB trivia is none other than Validation Boy. Yes, so he has won himself a 1-month membership on the house at johnlebon.com, which he can redeem by turning up for a conversation at a time of his choosing, and we'll record a show, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think he and I have a lot to talk about, our memories of 2015-16 and the madness that was going on at the time. So, Validation Boy, congratulations. You win the JLB Trivia for September 11 23-year reunion. Very well done. Get in touch with me, johnlebon@gmail.com, and we'll make some plans. But that's everybody else. It's time for me to go, so I want to say a big thanks to all of you in the live stream chat. We've got with us Unmediated Mind and YouTube and Vux Sucks and lots of other people's Invalis. Who else is in there? Lots of different people. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Here for Now is there as well. Lots of people. Hope you enjoy the show. Let me know, johnlebon@gmail.com, and we'll go out with just a few more minutes of this madness. By the way, guys, I had more questions lined up. for the live stream chat, but I think we're basically at the limit. So let's go out with a few more minutes of this 9/11 madness. And a big thanks once again to everybody making this possible at johnlebon.com. You know who you are. If you are a supporter of johnlebon.com, you know who you are. You are making this content possible, and I am very grateful, and I hope you enjoy the show. So on September 11/12, 2024, John LeBon coming to you from beautiful Plovdiv, Bulgaria. Man, I'm getting a bit of a croaky throat. Give me a second. Yes. What was I saying? Oh, yes. johnlebon123@gmail.com. Big thanks to Mike, Nathan Oakley, and John L. for supporting this episode. Big thanks to all the people who make this possible at johnlebon.com. Guys, this is independent content. I'm not selling ads for cars or for ice cream or for pharmaceuticals. I don't get support from big conglomerate. I'm just an independent dude making content. It's only possible because people support it. So if you want people to support it, big thanks to you. And there's lots more on the way. So make sure you are on the JLB mailing list. You're on the JLB YouTube, the JLB Twitter. Make sure you've got some way for me to contact you when the next thing comes out. But that'll do us for today. So thank you all. Let's go out with some more CNN this is from 9:06 in the morning on the day of 9/11. And of course, my heart goes out to the families. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.
Altitude and appeared to crash into the World Trade Center.
Dr. J, we're going to take a look at videotape just moments ago of the second plane hitting the World Trade Center. That is spectacular pictures. I don't know if you could see the plane, and that too was a passenger plane, if perhaps some type of navigating system or some type of electronics would have put two planes into the World Trade Center within, it looks like, about 18 minutes of each other. You want to go to... We have another copy. There is the second plane, another passenger plane hitting the World Trade Center. These pictures are frightening indeed. These are just minutes between each other. So naturally, you will guess and you will speculate and perhaps ask the question, if some type of navigating equipment is awry, that two commuter planes would run into the World Trade Centers at the same time. Our director, you're speaking in my ear at this point. You are looking at live pictures right now of the World Trade Centers. Again, we now have two passenger planes within 18 minutes of each other smashing into the World Trade Centers. Dr. J, are you still with us on the phone?
I'm still with you, Steve.
Dr. J, this is just frightening pictures indeed, and I would assume, or you would naturally think, that when
You've been listening to some of the coverage provided for us by our affiliate WABC out of New York City. Let's go now and check our other affiliate WNBC to get the latest. WNYW here, live coverage here of this amazing picture we're getting from Lower Manhattan. Two planes, one hitting each of the Twin Towers at the World Trade Center.
They come by and they say, what happened, what happened? And you just got to say something hit the building and then something hit both buildings.
Well, we saw clearly, we didn't see the first one, but we saw clearly that a plane deliberately crashed into one of the upper floors of the World Trade Center. That was the second plane. So two planes crashed into the upper floors of each of the World Trade Center towers. And I understand now that Port Authority headquarters are in one of those buildings somewhere near that location.
Jim, I don't know whether we've confirmed that this was an aircraft, or to be more specific, some people said they thought they saw a missile. I don't know how people could differentiate but we might keep open the possibility that this was a missile attack on these buildings.
Ali, I must.
Hello there, John. This is Donald J. Trump. I just wanted to let you know your content here on johnlebon.com is just absolutely tremendous. Really, I gotta say, my wife Melania and I have been consuming hours and hours of it. We just love it. We can't get enough of it, frankly.